Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the club. We are here for another Scotland Euros game, but we've also got some very, very special guests. Obviously, Buvey is in the house. Hugh Wizzy is back as well, but we have got a real special guest. Ireland former manager and player, also won the championship twice as manager, winning manager of the year in that occasion, managed in the Premier League. It's Mick McCarthy, absolute legend. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Great to have you here, man. Obviously, we've done some stuff for the podcast as well, which will be out at a later point. We've had a real good chat for that. We're here to watch Scotland against Switzerland today. But yeah, just what are you thinking of Scotland, lads, so far? Scotland losing against Germany 5-1.
Buvey said they're the worst team in the whole tournament.
Yeah, they are at the moment, in my opinion. If you get smashed 5, their confidence is rock bottom. Look, I think how they qualify is fantastic. I love Steve Clark, the manager as well. They've got some good players. At the moment, lads, they're rock bottom.
Are they the only team in the tournament not to have had a shot?
They scored with 0 XG, Mick. It was an own goal from Rudiger. And Tony Rudiger's got more of a contribution to Scottish national football tournaments in the last 25 years than any other Scottish player.
Also, Mick, if Buvey ever says he loves you, just know he's just absolutely slated you. Because he does that about everyone he slates. He slates someone and he goes, right, I love him.
No, but I do like Steve Clark. He was good at West Brom. Didn't Steve Clark's West Brom beat Ferguson on his final day of the season?
He stabs you in the heart with his hammer around his back. Is that what it is?
Yeah. You already know him. What have you made of Scotland so far? And do you have any hopes for them, Mick?
What do I make of Scotland? Come on. I mean, they likewise qualified. I was delighted for them and for Steve and for everybody. But to concede when they did and just capitulate like they did was unlike them, first and foremost. And it's desperate for them because we're talking about them in a real negative view as everybody else is. And Steve Clark's done a great job. He's a good coach. They need to, how they're going to do, regroup. They're playing against Switzerland, who are a damn good side, and generally get through to the next round. And I don't fancy them to get anything out of Switzerland because I think Switzerland are a really good side. Unless, of course, it's hurt everybody so much that they're going to be running around like banshees, all of them. But you can't just do that. You've got to be organised as well and make sure you don't concede. And if they can do that against Switzerland and nick it, but I think that's what they'll have to do because I think Switzerland are excellent.
Is it not just enough to have arrived at the tournament?
No.
That's an achievement in itself, isn't it?
No, it's not.
A lot of those fans have waited a whole lifetime to be here. You're involved now.
They were in the last
one,
and they came rock bottom in that one.
But they've got some really good players.
It's okay for you to say that as well, Mick, because you've qualified and gone further.
Is that
not
because,
everyone can do that.
because I've played in one and been there as a manager and as a Euros? I guess it is. I've got experience of doing it. And you're not allowed to just go there and let's all go enjoy it because how many managers get the sack after the Euros and how many managers get the sack after World Cups for poor performances when they've done unbelievably to get there and then they're out on the rear roll because it's poor performances. It's not acceptable. And everybody wants to go and enjoy it. Do you think any Scotsman enjoyed the 5-1 the other night?
No. There's a lot of
maybe
expectation.
the first 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
Just about 6 minutes. But there's a lot of expectation in Scottish football because of the size of Celtic. Obviously, you played for them and Rangers as well and Aberdeen and Hibs and all those other clubs.
Well, some of their players have done, you've got your Robertson, Scott McTominay, McGinn, Tierney. You've got a nucleus of real good players there, but they started off so badly last game. And you look at the goalkeeper, he starts again today. You must have had goalkeepers. I mean, every goalkeeper makes a mistake at times. Is it best to just stick with him and just give him that confidence in selection?
Well, he's probably got him. He's got him there in the tournament anyway. So if you become that fickle and somebody makes a mistake and you drop him, you'll never have any trust out of any of the players. So now you put your arm around him and say, "Listen, it's one of those things."
Yep.
The other goalkeeper will be thinking, he'll be rubbing his hands like that, thinking I'm going to get in, but not just for one game. No, not a chance. Not with me.
You agree, boys? Should they have stuck with him?
I think so.
Who are the other options? I don't know who the...
Clark and Kelly, so not the most esteemed options.
He's a highly rated keeper.
Norwich have had quite a good season.
Yeah, decent season.
What are we talking about? He didn't save
a
Tommy got his hand to. So
yeah, got into the playoffs, didn't they, Norwich City? So he's a good keeper. Came from the City Academy, very highly rated keeper as well.
He's an excellent keeper. I'm saying if he's had an off day, hey, let me tell you, they all had an off day. And of course, if 5 go in, you're looking at the goalkeeper. But I think you can be looking elsewhere as well.
Well, the centre back, obviously, Porteous, I think it was. The centre back obviously gets sent off. He's known a little bit for those kind of big challenges.
Yeah.
It wasn't the smartest challenge in the world to go through the guy.
I mean, do we need to have a conversation about the coach?
Angus Gunn's been great, to be fair. He's been excellent.
Oh, go on, Hugh.
I mean, because they weren't very. I mean, from what I can tell, anyway, they weren't very responsive to what Germany were doing. And at some stage, you've got to think, okay, maybe we are going to get beaten, but let's just not concede as many. Try and shut up shop a little bit here, and then we're going to have a chance in other games. Goal difference is going to be important potentially.
Yeah.
It's not looking good on that front. So is it like a conversation we need to be having about, the instructions they're getting? Midfield didn't look like they had done anything but leave open space that they just fully invested in.
I always find that interesting about the instructions that they're getting. So they've qualified. I wonder how many instructions he's changed. Do you think they go there with like a clean sheet? Right, we'll have some different instructions for this game. We'll go and play a different way in the Euros. Not a chance. They're playing the same way they've played. They all know the jobs. They've had an absolute howler. And in the midst of having a howler, one of the lads Porteous gusted to that, and that just compounds everything when they go down to 10 men. They've got to get out of it. They've got to change the narrative today. Whether it's a real performance and they end up getting beat 1-0 with a heroic performance, people will forgive them. But if they don't and it ends up being another one,
That's the thing. You don't want to go to a tournament and go back feeling like you've just, left something in the tank, or you've not really gone for it, or you've not shown up. The team today that they've got Gunning still in goal, Ralston, Hendry, Handley, Tierney, Robertson, McTominay, Gilmore, McGregor, and McGinn. With Adams up top for them. The team from Switzerland, Sommer, Akanji, Shaw, Rodriguez. It's a decent backline there for them. Widmer, Xhaka, Frula, Shaqiri. How's Shaqiri still going?
Shaqiri, yeah.
Vargas, Abisha.
Hips don't lie, is that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
His hips ain't lying at the moment. They must be sore though, because he must be getting on now.
There might be an operation coming from that.
Yeah, what are we thinking of the teams? Happy? Well, not happy, but what you think?
I mean, Switzerland have got too much quality, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. And also they have the experience, don't they, in these tournaments? They are constantly underrated, I think, in qualifying. And I'm expecting them to win. I mean, the young kid they've got up top looks like he's played very little international football, but he just took to it like
he looked amazing. He looks amazing. And the big one for me, Xhaka midfield. The guy's a Rolls Royce of a midfielder, mate. I can't believe.
I feel like your opinions on it would have been very different at Arsenal.
I thought he was good at Arsenal, especially the second last season, and then he obviously goes to Leverkusen and wins the league. I thought he was fantastic at Leverkusen.
The fans to F off and all that. Remember
that was 5 years ago.
I love that.
I agree with your opinion on him, by the way, because in my last tenure with Ireland, we had Switzerland in our group, and Xhaka was in there. But he's a pain because he's just yap, and him and Seamus Coleman had a bit of and Seamus got sent off then for he got booked for arguing with him when he shouldn't have been. And I said, just tell him to do one. But anyway, and then Seamus handles the ball, he gets sent off. But he was excellent,
fantastic.
And I think he's a top player, and he's proved that now when he's moved. He's like number one top guy in his team. And he was much maligned, but I think he was much maligned because of his personality, because of the things he did, other than his ability.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to him, I think he was played out of position for the first couple or 3 years at Arsenal, and we didn't really see the best of him until, I think, Arteta, really. He's given him this, more freedom to go forward, more responsibility. He's understood that he is a leader, and he's got that. He's just a metronome. Everything is so accurate with the passing that he can open up defences single-handedly, even though physically, he's not the fastest. He'll throw himself about, but he's not the fastest, not the most agile. But he's such an intelligent player. And yeah, look, that invincible season with Bayer Leverkusen tops it all, really, doesn't it?
Yeah,
just the culmination of all of it.
Yeah.
We've got a super chat for Mick McCarthy. A super chat is when people will send in their questions. Mick, thoughts on McKenna at Ipswich? Quotations, that went well.
Oh, just on him.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. I mean, to take the team from the First Division to the Premier League in 2 seasons is just incredible. I speak to some of the journalists that one of them was a pal of mine and he said they call him the Professor. He comes in and talks to them about how he's going to play and what he's going to do and how he does it. And they're all, I mean, they love that. But I don't get too many coaches doing that, talking to the press. And just how he's done it, managed the players. I think there was 7 of the team that got promoted, still in that team, and they got promoted this year as well. So I have the utmost respect for him, and he's played. Their team have played such wonderful football as well. Delighted for Ipswich as well.
What are the major differences between you're someone that's obviously had success in the Championship, moved into the Premier League, managed in the Premier League as well? What are the major differences between the Championship and the Premier League, and what does McKenna have to look forward to?
Let's see with Kieran now, because Vincent Company got promoted with Burnley, and Burnley were the best team I'd seen. I was at Blackpool and we drew 0-0. We could have won it in the end, but we could have been about 4 down as well. And I watched, and of course I went to watch them 2 or 3 times. They were amazing. Get to the Premier League and, they're almost, it was right at the end of the season they get relegated, but it looked like it, didn't it? For all the season they're going to get relegated. It was no surprise at the end when it happened. So I wonder about Kieran with the players here. See what budget they've got. I mean, to be fair, I think they've backed him in the transfer market in the First Division and the Championship. But as we know, backing somebody in those divisions is a big difference to backing them in the Premier League in terms of the money that they need. But in terms of him as a coach, it's not going to affect him like it's not affected Vincent Company. He's gone and got the Bayern Munich job because of what he's done. And I think Kieran McKenna, whatever happens with him at Ipswich, and I sincerely hope they stay up, and he has a successful season with them, it's going to be tough, just like it's tough for all the Championship clubs.
Because it must be difficult going from a team that's basically winning every single week to now you're not expected I mean, they may go on and win a lot of games. But
Adam, very good point, mate. We had it when I was at Sunderland and I was at Wolves. So I take the Wolves, we end up with 96 points?
Yeah.
90 odd points. And then you think, so you go from winning nearly every week. We started the season against Plymouth. I think we drew down there. Then we won 7 on the bounce. Then we lost, I think, 1 or 2. Then we won 7 on the bounce again. Well, you just don't do that when you've been promoted from them. You've gone from your fans seeing that and seeing you get 90 odd points to going to be happy with 36 or maybe 40. 40 used to be the benchmark, but it's not anymore.
Lower now. Lower now.
Yeah, it's not anymore. And if you end up getting a point a game in the Premier League, when you've been promoted, you've done really well.
You must be happy as a former Ipswich manager, obviously, to see them in the Premier League. I think you were there in a period of time where Ipswich were in the Championship for about 14 years, weren't they? They never got relegated, never got promoted. I know their fans were so frustrated with that. They're a massive club to be in the Premier League, aren't they?
Oh, they are, yes. And I think, at the time, when I went in there, we had 7 points from 13 games. And we ended up with 60 and we stayed in the Championship. And that was a high amount of points that year. And we continue doing that with loans and small signings. I think they've backed Kieran so far. I hope they do again. It's a fabulous club. I love my time there. I just hope that they can stay up. But
I think they will.
I'm going on Burnley.
I hope one of them does.
Also, Kieran McKenna's had some experience. I know he never managed Manchester United, but he was a coach with Manchester United. He's dealt with some of the players there. He knows what you need to be in the Premier League. All right, Manchester United weren't the most successful at that time, but that experience would have done him massive.
Tell you what, he went near towards the end of the season. I did the Leeds United game, and they got slapped there. They got it right doing. You think, I hope that's not going to alter. Not a chance. They kept playing the same way, same fabulous football, and it's the best football that's been seen at Ipswich for a long, long time. Maybe since Bobby Robson was there. We did it a different way, definitely, but his football. Fabulous, beautiful to watch.
Do you think the Burnley fans will have enjoyed the fact that obviously they've had the Championship run winning, comes to the Premier League, we keep the style of play, or do we need to be more pragmatic so that we can, survival is key?
I think all along through the season, they'd be shouting, I think, to be a bit more pragmatic and try and stay up however you do it, which I think is... No, I don't think. I know it is. That's your job. You stay up however you do it. And if you have to sacrifice your principles somewhat to get results, I think then that you do it. Because you are. It's not about me if I'm managing a club. It's about the whole club. It's not me going, right, I'm going to keep doing this the way I do it, I see fit, and then you get relegated. The fans are going to be there a long time after I've gone. The fans are going to be a long time after, they're there. They're going to come, turn up. They want to see you win. But I'll tell you what, they want to see you stay in the Premier League as well.
It does feel a little bit like Company is the real winner in this situation. He's got a great job as a result of sticking to his principles, but maybe at the expense of the club.
Well, I'll go down to all these in the, playing against the better teams. If you want to play against the better teams and do exactly the same as they do, you won't do it as well.
Yeah.
Because the players are not as good. That's at international level, it's at club level. And if you keep doing it, you try and do it over a full season, you might do it a couple of times. You might outplay a couple of teams. But they'll beat you. You've got to find a way of doing something different, whether it's getting stuck into them, whether it's closing them down, whether it's sitting back. Manchester United did it against Manchester City. Never thought it had happened, that at the cup final. They sat in. They were brilliant. I'm sad to say. But they were brilliant. And they picked them off with three really quick strikers. And they did them tactically. Who would have thought Pep would have got it done tactically?
Ollie done it a few times though, so we quite used to getting done tactically.
They didn't turn out and go, right, we're going to play Manchester City like how Manchester City play.
Yeah.
Because they're better than us at doing that.
Yeah.
The problem is if you'd have gone and sat in the cup final and lost and just sat back and they'd have got slapped, you're in trouble.
Definitely.
That's interesting. I think Kieran McKenna will look at. I think he'll look a little bit at what Company got out of that season. I think if he does well at Ipswich, playing a brand of football, he'll be looking at the Man United job. He'll be looking at these big European jobs.
I was quite impressed with him knocking them. Look, because we kind of see managers take jobs too soon sometimes, and we think, why has he done that? He's in for a hiding. He's going to get sacked, and then you've dropped really far down the pecking order. And for him to kind of go, happy where I am. The Chelsea job was there. Seemed to be the Brighton one, the Man United one, and he was just kind of...
Was Man United serious, do you think? If he'd said, I want it.
I think the discussions may have been serious because they seem like Eric Ten Hag's confirmed that the club have told him they spoke to other managers. So that's obviously happened. Whether, they both come to a point where it's like, maybe this is something for the future or not, I don't know.
I think you have to earn a bit of kudos somewhere in the Premier League. He's got kudos now because of his job he's done at Ipswich, from the first division to the Championship. But I know players judge you, they look at you. Right, so, you come to a Premier League side, they go, well, maybe not to you. They wouldn't be saying it to me or to Kieran McKenna, but they'll be saying it in the dressing room. So he's got Ipswich promoted, I'm big cheesy, and they do. They'll test you out. They'll be questioning whether it's the right decision. And if he gets it going straight away, it'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
It'll prove what a great coach is and he's obviously a very good guy and he gets the best out of players, a good manager. But if you don't, players start questioning.
What's the important things for you as a manager when you take a job? What are the first 2 or 3 things that you look to? I need to get this sorted straight away, or kind of leave my imprint there.
Depends what I inherit, to be quite honest. It's generally you've got to start winning. And what do you need to start winning? And it might be, you have to change the shape of the team. You might have to change the players. You need to get your players on side. I'd certainly want the leaders of that squad with me. You might have to have an arm around them and chat to them first. The big lads in the team, because you want them with you. And you know what? They might be against you somewhere down the line. You might have to give them the elbow as well. But when you first go in, you want people with you.
I think
get them on side.
Arteta's been through a similar thing at Arsenal. He's been given the reins to the castle that is seemingly beyond his reach. His CV certainly is going to need some buffering out for a lot of players to respect. And then he's gone to an Arsenal side where there were stars involved who've probably thought, like we were saying, behind closed doors in the WhatsApp, who is he, what's he done?
Yeah.
And Arteta's sort of magic for me is getting rid of bad apples, let's call them, and entrusting these kids, if we're calling them that, young men, who are totally on board with this project.
You've got to get them on board. That's the thing. And doing the things he did, will have got the others on board. Because they'll be the quiet ones that don't have a voice. They'll be the ones who are led by the so-called leaders. And actually, sometimes the leaders aren't very good. They're leading them the wrong way completely. And you need to go, right, see ya, and bring them on board. You can see the talent that they've got. You can see the young players, and they want to go in and enhance their careers. Some of them at the higher level and older ones have maybe had a career, and just judging, what's he done?
Yeah.
When you go into a club, this might be a bit of a naive question. Do you have a big team meeting at the start of the season and you give everyone a chance, sort of thing, and then from there you maybe break down who you need to maybe sell on, or what? How does that kind of work?
I generally go in and I say to them, you've got to have a chat with them, whatever you say, whatever waffle you say, because I've had it when managers have come in, and let me tell you, you are not listening to one little thing he's saying, unless he mentions you.
Yeah.
Like collectively, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and you've probably heard it loads of times. So I said, it'll be very short, and I said, lads, come on, let's go out and train. I'll judge you out there, and you judge me out there, and we'll see how we get on. Because talking to the lads,
those team talks, obviously at Sunday League, you get these long team talks, don't you? At all levels of football, obviously not at a massive level when I ever played, but there's long team talks. It just exacerbating.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
So
I didn't like training without a ball. I just wanted to kick a ball around me.
Yeah.
I couldn't do the running, but that's why I didn't make it.
It wasn't lack of ability.
Well, not a lack of height or lack of power or presence, but it was just the other things. Mental.
Yeah, his thighs don't help either. Sam with a super chat says, "Thank you, Mick, for all the work you did at Wolves over the years. Some of my fondest moments as a Wolves fan."
Well, thank you. Was that Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I thoroughly enjoyed my time, and I'm joining some of the lads on Friday to celebrate the promotion that we got back in to the Premier League in 2008. So that's
what is it like when you meet? Because you must not see each other for a long time. And meeting back up with people like that you've achieved so much with.
I'll tell you when I'm going like that. Hello.
Is it good for you to be back amongst them where you're not in that position of manager where you kind of have to hold like a certain appearance when you're the manager, right? And just being able to see them now with those.
Well, it's funny because some of the lads will still call you gaffer, and I don't expect them to by any stretch of the imagination. I can't wait to see them because we had a great time. We got promoted. We stayed in the Premier League for 2 years, and then I lost my job, and they got relegated. And they got relegated to the First Division. But I had a wonderful time. It was one of the happiest times of my life. It was fabulous.
Is that when Terry O'Connor took over from you for
Terry
that
Connor
short spell?
He's not an O'Connor.
Sorry, Terry Connor. Terry Connor.
I know I tried to get him in the Irish squad, but he's Terry Connor.
He worked with you obviously quite a lot, didn't he? And
he did, yes.
That must have been gutting to see him get relegated. It was a tough time for Wolves.
It was, and it was tough for TC because, to be fair, TC had been my assistant for 5 years, had he? 5 years, I think it was, at that time. And, the decision then they'd made the decision to get Shamid, they didn't get anybody else in. So I've gone away from Wolves having had 600 games as a manager, 500 games as a manager. And then the TC gets asked to do it, who has not had one. And he says that. He says, why on earth would they get you to you and employ me as a manager? But I understood it because we lost to West Brom. We lost 5.
Did he ever phone you and go, I know you've just been sacked, but need some help here. Got any advice for me?
No, he didn't. No, and he went his own way, and I admired him for it. He's a fabulous guy, TC. Great coach, by the way, but a lovely man.
Was that Peter Odenwingie scored a few against you? Am I right in thinking that?
Who?
Peter Odenwingie.
Was that in the playoff?
For West Brom? No, in the Premier League when Wolves got relegated, I think. But
I don't know who scored him. I don't remember West Brom players at all.
Good answer.
That was a great answer.
Yeah. The players are out for this game, by the way. We are watching Scotland against Switzerland. Obviously, we'll be asking Mick as many questions as possible and picking his brain on the great career that he had. But we are here for Scotland, Switzerland as well. And me, anyway, I'm rooting for a Scotland win here. I want Scotland to win. I want them to keep their hopes alive. And get something here. But Switzerland, one of those teams, they just always make it through the group.
Good side,
They just
Kanji.
always make it through the group.
Have you looked at their stats at how many times they've qualified, and when they do qualify, when they get through to the next rounds? It's off the scale.
Is it?
They are very, very good, yeah.
Why can't they get farther in the tournament? What's their issue to get into the quarters and semis for you? Because I noticed that in the World Cup as well. It's kind of round of 16, then they struggle a little bit. What are they missing, do you think?
They won. Didn't they win in the round of 16 against France on pens?
The last one, yeah, but I'm talking more generally. We've never seen Switzerland in a kind of semi or final situation.
Maybe they play to their level. You know, is their level last 8, last 16 in all the competitions?
Yeah, it's hard to go further.
But they do it. They live up to their expectations. They'd like to go further, and I think they probably could have done, but they don't get knocked out in the first rounds. So equally, you know, could they go further? Yeah, probably could, but they never go home.
And generally speaking, they usually punch above their weight because, like, you look at everyone does their predictions before a tournament, and very rarely do you always put Switzerland through in their group. Like, there'll be 2 teams that are probably seeded a little bit better than them, and they're always there. Like, maybe them getting to the last 16 that's just them in it, and they're fighting above their weight as well.
I've played against them. I played against them as a player, but as a manager, my last game for Ireland the first time round was against Switzerland. And they beat us 2-1 that day. But then we had them again when in my second time round. I said we played them, and they were excellent. Really good players.
We're underway in the game. Come on, Scotland.
They've got big, powerful players. They have big, athletic players as well.
Yeah,
they always seem to be a close-knit team as well. Like, a lot of teams in these tournaments, sometimes they'll have all the players in the world, and we've seen some of the best French teams kind of fall out and things like that. And Switzerland always seems to just all about the team.
Do you get a free Rolex, do you think, if you play for Switzerland? There must be some perks to it. It's a great country. Do you know what I mean? Switzerland, fantastic, man.
A couple of Toblerones.
Yeah, Toblerones, exactly. All the watches you get.
Come on, Scott.
I think they can all afford one. They want one.
It's a different Scotland, though. They've done well to qualify. Spain and Norway, the 2 biggest sides in that group, and
they were amazing. They qualified,
Yeah, Scotland smashed it. McTominay had like 7 goals in qualification.
Yeah, they beat Spain, and Rodri was saying, they don't play football, and that's usually a good sign if you're doing that to Rodri, make excuses as a footballer.
Yeah, he's been doing that a lot lately.
I love that.
What, when he won the Premier League?
No, before it was signed, secured and sealed, he didn't say anything.
Which one?
You don't remember against Arsenal? Getting 4 points.
What, when he scored last minute at the Emirates?
4 points taken off.
When he slid on his knees in the corner.
Getting 4 points taken off you against your rivals.
But we won.
And
we
then
won the league
opening his big trap at the end of the season, saying, Arsenal fell apart. Arsenal didn't fall apart against you, though.
I'm sure Mick, as a manager, would rather his players say something after winning something. A lot of your players are coming out releasing videos, emotional montages, beating City with a deflected goal. Then you came second.
Listen.
What are your memories of playing for Man City? Because he's obviously a Man City fan.
The main road is come on. It's got to be a shock to the system to see how things have changed.
A shock?
City.
At City,
No, I think it'd be a shock if they took them back to Main Road and took everything back that they've got now. That would be a huge shock. It's like I played for a different club.
Yeah.
You know, playing in the old second division, getting promoted to the first division, and the stadium, and listen, the fans are saying the fans are fantastic. But I guess that now there's a new breed of fans. We always used to say that the Manchester City was supported from people from Manchester. Well, I think they've now got a bigger audience. Of course, they get people from all over the world as well. Whereas it used to be Manchester United. Still, it's amazing though. Fabulous again that they won the league.
Did you enjoy your time at Manchester City as a player?
Yeah.
I think it was difficult, relatively speaking. I think you got relegated, right, in the season.
Yeah, but I went there and I went there in December and we got did we get in the playoffs? No, I can't remember the playoffs. We didn't. We finished just outside. There weren't playoffs then. And then the following season we got promoted. We had a year in the first division, but we were miles off it. We just no money.
Was that the issue back then as well?
If anybody said that about Manchester City now, no money. They were scrint.
But it's interesting you say that. That's an observation back then as well, that a club could struggle getting into the first division. Because I think there's a romantic argument about when a club would get promoted and then you could just use momentum and win the league out of nowhere. But actually, money back then was a constraint for a lot of clubs as well. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? I think back then we romanticise it as 11 lads from the local area. Actually, money mattered back in the 70s and the 80s hugely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It didn't. There wasn't as much of it around, but it still made a difference if you got it. That's for sure.
Were there any transfers back in when you were playing that kind of shocked the league, or any like standout transfers that really
Stapleton?
Yeah, any statement transfers?
Who?
Oh, I was going to say Frank Stapleton.
No, Frank was a great player,
but making the switches that he did were not controversial at the time.
I don't know. Do you know what? I don't think there was as much.
It's not as big a rivalry then.
Well, what, Arsenal and Manchester United?
Yeah.
I didn't see Manchester United and Arsenal as the big rivalry. I'd see Arsenal and Tottenham, and Manchester United, Manchester City, and Manchester United and Liverpool.
Maybe historically, but through the ages, like that has changed. I mean, I don't see, maybe I'm mistaken for doing this, but I don't see Tottenham as a rival. I think that's a sort of, it's a historical thing that people have struggled to move on past, but...
You're an Arsenal fan?
Is it that obvious? I mean, what we've done...
just slap me in the face.
What we've done in the last 20 years far surpasses, I think, what they've done, and as a result...
But you never lose that rivalry, though.
No, but, growing up, man, Arsenal against Manchester United was where we were fully invested.
Yeah, but not when Frank Stapleton...
No, but that's why I said maybe the rivalry wasn't the same then. But
Man United,
as far as transfers go, I don't know how that would have been received.
I think Gary Neville came out and sort of said it wasn't really much of a rivalry. It's 3 league titles in 6 or 7 years, and then the rest was Man United.
It was a rivalry.
Really,
that's delusion, man. That's actually delusion.
But in the sense you didn't...
No one else was pushing them like we were.
People say Liverpool City's a rivalry.
Liverpool won 1 in 7 years. I think Chelsea Man United was a bigger rivalry. Jose Mourinho. I think when he came in,
United
won 2 in a row.
United Arsenal was a huge rivalry.
You think that was bigger?
You even got the game when Brian McClare, we had Chucky and Winterburn and all that scrapping on the pitch at Old Trafford, and like everyone got. There was that before the Ruud van Nistelrooy, Martin Keown.
Yeah, Man United and Arsenal were a huge rivalry.
Yeah, that's a massive rivalry.
They were.
Talking about rivalries,
I love that the Arsenal fan says he doesn't judge Tottenham as a rival.
No,
it's a bit like me saying I don't remember West Brom players. You know what I mean?
we're past that now.
Oh, yeah.
We've got bigger fish to fry.
Talking about rivalries, you played obviously one of the biggest, Celtic against Rangers, winning the league with Celtic, winning the double.
Yeah.
What is that the biggest club that you've played for? Would you say?
That's the biggest game I've ever played in that, because I played Manchester United, Manchester City. I managed Sunderland and Newcastle. I played for Millwall and anybody else, which didn't really matter. That was great, because we just had a feud with everybody. It was brilliant. I loved my time there at Millwall. But that, I'm talking about Millwall, West Ham, Millwall, Crystal Palace games, how they're supported. But, talking about Man United, Man City and Sunderland, Newcastle. Celtic Rangers is off the scale completely. And if you guys, seriously, you've got to get to one of those games and experience. I don't know if you have. You should do. It's just amazing.
Have you lads been?
No, not yet.
Never, but they say it's like
my mate Phil's invited me to one of those, so I need to take him up on it.
I'm shouting before the game, you're trying to get to talk to somebody and it's there, and you're shouting, can't hear. You have to go, right, somebody's ear all to make them hear. It's just
that's amazing.
Fabulous. It's a spectacle. It's just...
What was the build-up like then? Because nowadays you feel like footballers kind of live in a bubble where... they're kind of protected from the fans. Very rarely do they come in contact. But back then, you would have been coming into contact with fans and just walking into the ground and what was it like in the?
I'll tell you what the build-up was like. We beat Hibs on Saturday, and we're playing Rangers the following Saturday. So you might get asked to the press conference. I said, so, Mick, what do you think about a game? You won 3-1 today. Yeah, we did, and so-and-so scored. So he said, right, that's it. So let's talk about the Rangers game that's coming up the following week. It was over and done with the Saturday before the next game. That was like, let's get that done over and quick, get it written. And it was all from Saturday evening and Sunday morning, it was all that game. It was the build-up to that, all the way. Talk about nothing else. It was incredible.
The fans as well, they live for it.
It's bigger than football, isn't it? It's football, but it's more than football.
Well, it ends up, they take kind of religion into it, which I don't think it should be, to be honest. But I played in the game that we had all the sendings off. Gaza got sent off. There was the 3 of them sent off. We had 2, they had 3 sent off. It was just carnage, absolute carnage, the whole game. And it doesn't take that just to spark it off. But brilliant. It is wonderful to play in. I was very lucky I managed to play in them.
Oh, yeah. Winning the league must have been special for Celtic as well.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we had, I don't know how many points we had. I think we only conceded 12 goals. We had an amazing team. But prior to that season, we were having our photograph taken. So I joined 87, 88. I joined in 87 and we're all sat waiting for the photograph to be taken, which I don't know if you ever spoke to anybody else about photographs before a game. It's the biggest pain in your face that you can have, sat waiting, and the photographer goes, just one more, and all the lads are mucking about. And so somebody said, messing around, we've got no trophies in front of us. And somebody said, because normally Celtic have, and somebody said, where's all the trophies? And one wise idiot said, they're at Ibrox. Oh, man. Billy McNeil went off his face, and rightfully so. And it's only then that I kind of thought I knew what it was about, going to Celtic, but I didn't know. He ripped us asunder, all of us, for him for saying it, for laughing. That's why we haven't got any trophies here. We should have trophies here. This is your disgrace. Oh, tore a strip off all of us and let us know where we should be. We're not here, you're not coming here to play for Celtic and just be okay. You're coming here to win the league, coming to win the cup, you're going to win, And we did. That was the centenary year, but he put manners on us. And he'd say, like, we're going to wait to play at, St Mirren or somewhere. With that degrading St Mirren, we're going to win there. That's not, you don't come over there with a draw, a famous draw or a fighting draw. Not a chance. You go there and win. Mm-hmm. Go to Hibs. If you go to Edinburgh, we'd go and play and we'd be playing Hibs. And if we come away and we've won that, the lads would be saying, should we nip into Hearts and get the points there? Because that's how it got. And you had to win. And if you didn't, you got battered by the manager and battered by the fans, and rightfully so. You're expected, because you are...
Yeah, it's different.
The fans think, and they are, we're the top team. I know the Rangers fans think they're the top team, but they're not. Celtic are. And they're expected to win it. No heroic seconds. None at all. And that, having played where I'd played, I'd never been in a team where I thought you're expected to win every week. You want to win every week, you're expected to win every week. Yeah.
It's a bit like the Man United pressure a little bit, maybe Real Madrid. It comes with a stature of club, doesn't
Absolutely, it does, yeah.
It's very special. Yeah. Liverpool, of course.
And it was a privilege to play at that level and be expected to win and not having anything else, because it's great.
Yeah, it must have been a contrast to Man City a couple of years before that.
Well, it is when you're being promoted and you're selling everything and, you're fighting against it all the time. It was lovely to be in a team that you could go and win.
Yeah.
We had Paul McStay and
Scotland on the attack here. We've got 3 against 2.
Here we go.
Get the pass. Oh.
What's he done there?
Come on. Oh!
I don't believe
Come
it.
on, lads! Scott
McTominay.
Scott McTominay. It's probably an old
Wow,
goal.
what a turn up.
But
for
1-0 Scotland. Come on,
my.
boys.
I love what Lawrence said there. What's he done there? Oh, he's just cut it back and he's put it in the net.
He missed it there, mate. He missed it there, mate. It was a bad touch there. I can see that. I can see that on the screen.
I know it was, but it ended in the net.
It did, yeah. The keeper made a mistake there, surely.
No, it was a
looking
big
at the replay.
deflection off the
No,
shot.
it's a deflection.
But this is a fantastic break. Really good defending by Scotland. They make the pass right to release this 2-on-2, 3-on-2 here.
He almost makes a mess of this.
Yeah, this one here.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's all right, yeah.
It was the, yeah. It was the,
It's Shah.
Who's that?
Two
Shaw?
deflected goals this tournament for
No,
Scotland.
it's not.
oh, yeah.
It's
Keeper's going straight down the keeper's throat. That.
Yeah. So who's that?
No, McGregor's meant
Oh,
that. That wasn't a
McGregor.
pass, you know, from
No, he's
McGregor.
tried to stop the ball, yeah.
No,
Well, he
no,
has
it's
stopped
Shah.
the
It's
ball.
not Shah. It's the big centre half, isn't it?
But McGregor
Shah,
meant
isn't it?
Might be
McGregor
Shah.
didn't mean to
Yeah,
shoot then.
yeah.
Stuck his
They're
leg
not so
out
big
and just.
centre half. It is. It's Shah.
That's a big result. Well, big goal, sorry, not
It's early,
result.
so it's only
yeah,
Scotland.
very early.
It's only Scotland.
But this is what Scotland
Now
need.
can Scotland get down to the nitty gritty that we should be?
I hope they
Trust them
qualify
a
so
bit
England
more.
can play them. That's what I'm hoping. I'd love to play these lot in the future, that's for sure.
I just hope they do. Certainly for Steve as well, because he'll have been getting pelters. Let me tell you.
Do you
As
think?
it stands, although early, they are second in the group.
Yeah, yeah. If you win in this format of the Euros, you've got a great chance of coming at least third. That's why England are sent out of the group already because of the draw in the Slovenia-Denmark game. One win, you're basically through.
What's great though, if you've set up to be hard to beat, which I'm sure they looked at it and thought, well, you've conceded 5, we need to be harder to beat, and you score inside, 13, 14 minutes, you are making it.
And they
tough,
will
never
dig
said
in
it.
now, and they will.
Well, of course.
They
You
will
can't do
stick
it too
challenges
early.
in, break up play.
You don't want to, I think the Czech Republic did that a little bit. Albania have done that. England were found guilty a little bit. We were so deep, weren't we?
It looks like he's playing a diamond. It looks like he's playing
Yeah, that's how. That's how
two
it looks.
strikers and one in behind.
Yeah.
It's a good tackle.
Just got to keep it.
Oh.
Oh. Who's that? Tierney.
Tierney, I think.
He's looking for a foul there.
Is he going to celebrate that or what?
They may well have just awoken the beast, though.
What is? I don't want to tempt fate, but it's the beast.
They got
No, they
quality
got some
there. They
serious-
got
look-
I know
quality.
Switzerland are a good
Look,
team.
Shaqiri,
but they're not
look,
playing France where you go.
unlocking doors between the lines. 2 minutes after the goal. It's a long way to go, man.
Scotland can do this, man.
They got that Mbolo as well. He's always kind of available at tournaments. He's had an injury-prone season, hasn't he? He scored, obviously, last match round as well.
That was a good corner.
Oh!
Wide.
I thought he retired this guy.
Rodriguez, is it?
I thought he retired, Mick. Couldn't believe it. Where's he playing now? Some of these guys, international tournaments, you see some random footballers, don't you? Come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, there's some
footballer.
players that just. I remember David Healy on international level was just unbelievable.
David Healy from
Remember
Northern
he
Ireland.
Scored a hat trick against Spain.
Scored against England.
England scored a great goal
in
against
Northern Ireland.
England.
Oh, David Healy.
What a nightmare for the Swiss manager, right? Who hasn't even really been using Shaw through the qualification. Just
Why has he
brought-
not been using him? Do you know?
Well, Kanji's obviously
Just
first name
Akanji.
on the team sheet, and I think he's been playing 2 at the back instead of 3.
Yeah. I like Charlotte. He's a good centre back, I think. But
He's done well for Newcastle in the last few
Yes,
years.
yeah.
Hasn't he?
yeah.
He scored against us.
Home nations, then, yeah. We're back in with the home nations.
Yeah, man. I want Scotland to do it, man.
I don't know why. Are you Scottish at all?
No, but, I would support Ireland. They're not in it.
It's funny that
We were watching Scotland England once, weren't we, on a previous show? And you
accidentally
celebrated
supported Scotland.
You celebrated Scotland.
Forgot.
It got disallowed, I
Me
think.
and England have a long history.
He's a Man United fan, mate.
Yeah.
Yes, I've gathered that. That's-
Yeah, my mum's Irish, so I support Ireland. But at the same time, I used to want England to do well. And then you had the whole David Beckham thing, whole Phil Neville thing, Wembley singing
Phil
stand
Neville
up if you
thing.
hate Man
you stopped
United.
supporting England because of Phil Neville.
Yeah.
What?
Remember when he gave the penalty away against Romania and then he was public enemy number 1 for a little bit.
Oh,
was Phil
okay,
Neville.
right.
There are hills to die on, Adam, but Phil Neville's.
Well, the
Yeah,
David
fine.
Beckham hill, I'm there.
Oh, yeah, fine. 98 was grim.
Yeah.
I have that with Manchester United fans all the time. When they come to me, they say, "Oh, I support United." I say, "Who's that? Leeds, Hartlepool, Cambridge."
Oxford.
Yeah, Oxford. Just name. I just name as many as I can remember.
I love that Newcastle fans recently were giving Newcastle were going, we're United, and because I think someone on TV when Manchester United played Newcastle called Manchester United. So Newcastle fans got in their thingy, got their knickers in a twist about it. And then Kieran Trippier the other day did an interview. Is he captain of Newcastle? He's obviously one of their best players.
So, yeah, must be.
Could be captain. And he called Manchester United. And he was just like, well, there you go.
Well,
you're
there,
so big. Like
Trippier was there.
Yeah,
you are.
His family all support Manchester United as well. I don't think he played. He started at Burnley.
He played at Man City. He was at Man City's academy.
Sorry,
Yeah.
But I know all his family support Man United.
But it was an awkward question because I think Gary Neville said, "Oh, did you nearly come to Man United?" I think it was.
He said he did.
What he would have. Yeah. It was an awkward question, wasn't it? I think.
No, but Gary Neville can get away with asking that.
Oh, yeah,
he's a former player, isn't it?
Oh, of course you can.
So when it's coming from someone in the press, it feels a bit loaded. When it's another player, it feels like a conversation.
Oh, it was a laugh. Yeah, 100%. I thought Trippier had a good game, by the way, against Serbia. I think Phil Foden struggled a little bit with him because obviously everything he asks the players on his right foot, he takes an extra touch on the ball. But defensively, I think he's still fantastic for me, Kieran Trippier, in a tournament.
He's a good player.
He's a very good player. Made a few mistakes this season, though.
Yeah, he did in the European games.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Could he be got at?
But I think that Newcastle United side had holes in it. They weren't ready to go. I think if he's playing for that Atletico Madrid side that won the league at a similar level, I think
Atletico Madrid were drilled very differently under Diego Simeone.
Yeah, far more defensive
than how Eddie Howe would be playing.
But they had that Miley in midfield and stuff like that. There's so many gaps in the midfield for Newcastle. He was exposed. He didn't have a great season, but he's still a fantastic fullback.
It'll be interesting if they have to sell Bruno Guimaraes.
He's coming to City.
Is that?
He is. Have you seen our fixtures here, by the way, from February?
Oh yeah, it looks totally unplanned, doesn't it? Totally random. Just roll the dice.
We've debated the FFP
no
stuff.
difficult games after February.
The Premier League arranged the fixtures. So who's on whose side? Why would they make City's fixtures less easier?
Arguably, the guy who was flown out to Bahrain.
We're not saying fixtures are easier and all that.
Are you serious?
Hugh's suggesting it.
Have you actually seen the running?
Come on, bro. You have to play everyone.
They do not have a team who's predicted to finish in the top half of the table in the last.
So that means
games.
they could drop points earlier in the season.
They've got February where there's like Arsenal, Newcastle, Tottenham, and one other, I think. Maybe Liverpool as well. It's an insane February.
But if you start off strong, you should be able to hold on, like for the last 2 years.
Please.
Although some managers have made a lot of excuses about fixtures at times, haven't they, Mick? When you're a manager, some of the excuses that they come out with at times are quite... Would you pull up the fixtures and go, hold on a minute, their running's a bit worse than ours?
No, I might say if we just lost to... if we're in the Premier League and we just lost to Blackpool, I might be saying we've got Tottenham coming up next. It's a bit of a worry. Or we lost to Bolton, which we did when I was at Wolves, and we lost in the 94th minute, which really pleased me. I had a bit of a ruck in the dressing room after that one. And we got Manchester United coming on the Sunday. So I didn't complain about the fixture. We actually beat them 2-1. George Elokobi scored. But... it's bonkers. You've just, you've lost to Bolton away, and you've got Alex Ferguson, Manchester United, coming on.
That's great. Is that the Elmander goal? Do you remember the Elmander goal? He scored against Wolves, didn't he? It was goal of the season, wasn't it?
Oh, well,
Bolton.
Remember Elmander, the Swedish
where
strike? He turns. I was against Wolves. He turns inside out and touched it.
I think it was against Wolves. Yeah,
I don't think George.
Or was it Hull? It might have been Hull.
No, George didn't get the goal of the season. Actually,
shirt.
George, I think, was a tap-in, but he got the goal of the season for me because we beat them. But my point being is that there's no point complaining about the fixtures. You've got to play them all, and whenever you play them,
Yeah.
Hugh, get this. This is a radical concept. It's crazy how it works, Mick, isn't it? League football. Everyone plays everyone. It's fascinating, Mick. Have you ever, 30 years of experience, Mick's never heard anything like it.
I've never heard that. That's a disgrace.
We all play each other, Mick. Arsenal have got get this.
City fans talking about fair play.
Mick, get this.
What a world we're living in.
You know, City have got Arsenal at home, Mick. Get this, yeah. We have to go to Arsenal away in the same league. In the same league. It's crazy. That is crazy, man. Arsenal, they are struggling, man. I feel bad for Arsenal. That's crazy. If you start strong, you should be, 10 points clear. If you start strong in your campaign, surely.
Yeah, surely, because they've got the more difficult games.
Don't back him like
No,
this.
but I agree. Like you can't, you play everyone the same amount of times.
No, you don't.
It's not that you've got 10 away games.
Logic and common sense says that if you are given a run of fixtures, which is, on paper at least, a lot more challenging, and clubs who have got a lot more money to build bigger and better squads, you don't want to be playing them consecutively.
Sound like you're getting your excuses in early, though, man.
I think you'll have to take it in with the artificial intelligence that decide the fixtures at the start of the season.
I love when the artificial intelligence is like, make sure United, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal are on the same weekend.
Do you actually think it's fixed in any way, or are you just bemoaning the fact that City are lucky?
No, you asked me about the fixtures. I saw the fixtures. I took one look at City's fixtures, and I'm almost convinced that unless they have a bad February, they will win the league.
Yeah. But you're not saying that's fixed.
It's that simple.
Yeah, but you're not saying it's fixed. You're just saying it's bad luck on Arsenal.
I'm saying it looks like a great fixture list for Manchester City.
It is. Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
But that's luck of the draw.
Favourable, you could say.
But to who? The Premier League who are charging City at the moment?
No, City, you know. The games that they have to play look like the real challenge is 1 month. The rest of it is
February's hard.
1 or 2 games a month that they should win.
It's amazing, isn't it? They can spend what they want as well. It's great.
I don't know, Mick. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It's absolutely real, you
know, there's a whole bunch of things that the club are sending out cease and desists for. So you know, you got to be careful about what you say.
That was proven to not be true.
Well, okay, but
and more lies.
That was a lie. That was a pure lie.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, that's news to me. I didn't know. But anyway.
I never thought it had happened to City, actually, the Financial Fair Play League, when I was earning me 200 quid when I first went there. I never
financially fair play.
Thought. I didn't think it was fair at the time either. No.
It's got to hurt a little bit seeing people maybe a decade or 2 later just earning outrageous amounts of money for... Like maybe some of the kids don't even... You can be a multimillionaire and not play for the first team.
Yeah, you know what? If they play and give everything, good luck to them. That's me. And I always thought that. And I was very lucky. I've done really well out of the game, so I've no complaints or any bitterness about anything whatsoever.
You even got hit with a 25k fine once, didn't it? 25k fine
for doing
how bad that is.
That was for winning two games. That was for beating Spurs away.
Good job.
Yeah, losing to Manchester United. Because I changed 10 players, didn't I?
Nice one for that.
And,
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
09.
See, I think Arsenal had a complaint about me as well, said that I'd given Manchester United 3 points. I do like Alex, to be fair to him. He's lovely.
I don't know. Arsene, he made a few comments about you over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe that game rubbed him up the wrong way. What was the deal there? It was a cup game, right? So...
No, it wasn't a cup game.
No,
it was a league game.
Yeah. It's a league game.
The Premier League.
Okay,
we've been to Spurs on the Saturday.
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Wow. What a goal from Switzerland.
Oh, and it's that boy. It's
Kieran.
Shachiri. Come on.
What a finish.
The hips don't lie. Watch this one. This is an amazing strike.
Stoke City legend. Yeah. Back at it again.
Strike.
Scotland. Still hope, I guess.
He could have been such... he's playing here in the Euros for Switzerland. He could have been such a better player.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
What a finish.
That's what he could
Poor
do.
defending, though. Again, it's another individual
No, that's a
error.
brilliant... Look, that's
No, I'm on about the
opportunism, man. He's
assist
seen him there and he's just gone bang first
No,
time.
it's a great goal, but look at his pass here.
It's magnificent.
Is he offside?
Offside.
He's a
No,
mile
No.
He's a
The
mile
other
It
fella's,
doesn't count. It doesn't.
the other fella's playing him on, isn't he?
Oh, who
Is it a back pass? He's
back
doing a
pass.
Steven Gerrard.
Oh. Take it back, mate. Beautiful.
Is it Ralston? Is it Ralston that passed it back to him?
Yeah, it was Scottish.
Hanley.
Oh, look
Right
at
back.
that. Curled
That's
it, top
magnificent.
bins.
Who's that then?
I think it was Hanley.
Is it?
Can't be Grant Hanley.
It was Ralston, wasn't it?
He's an outrageously good player. I always wondered how he ended up at Stoke, how they did that.
He was an amazing player, yeah.
Is it the physicality? He was a little bit
It was
small.
Ralston. He was at Liverpool, I know, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't he win the Champions League?
Bayern Munich.
Who's that?
He won the Champions League with Liverpool. He was in the
Basel.
squad, wasn't he? Shaqiri.
Shaqiri.
I thought it was wonderful when he just came here. When he came to England, he just never always did it every single week. You know, just one of those players that.
He was at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but I mean that's what he's got. His magnificent ability.
The
What's it
bicycle
like
kick.
dealing with those players that, those players that are just amazing, but they don't switch out every single time? Do you just have to identify that's how they are, and then
You have to manage him. I'm not going to lie. I don't find that easy to manage because, all the bread and butter players that they call him. The centre midfield player that doesn't, Deschamps, who they all knocked, the French manager who's got more medals than anybody else, and now as a manager, sat there, got the ball, gave it to all the good players, won it off all the other good players. It's hard not to like them. And of course, we all like the really technically gifted ones that when they perform, but when they don't perform or they're not chasing back or, winning something they should.
Yeah.
Eric Cantona called him a water carrier.
He did, yeah, water carrier, yeah, I know.
It's outrageous, that. You know the first person he hugged after that game? They just won? Kante. Look at the guy.
Kante.
So selfless.
Yeah.
Oh. He's like two guys. It's like
outrageous.
Two players.
It is. It's wonderful.
If he stays fit, they win.
We all like those, and I've had them in my team. Always somebody who's just sit there, win the ball, deal with it, give it to somebody else. And so it's difficult dealing with the ones who, the problem is if they think they're the superstars, that's a problem. And I don't mind the ones that are. Like we talked about Ronaldo before, and he's proved it. He's played all the games, scored all the goals. Cantona's, so jumping into the crowd and scissor kicking somebody in the throat, I can forgive that if he scores goals every week and he plays wonderfully well. Joking there, by the way.
No, we can forgive that. We can forgive that.
You can if you've got to be getting it out of them. They've got to be producing, whatever it might be.
Kante's performance was sublime.
I mean, he's got
untrue, wasn't he? It was brilliant.
He's got two players like that in Camavinga and Tchouaméni, who he could have started ahead of Rabiot, but he just, again, he does the simple things probably more efficiently.
Yeah, he does. I think I tweeted it earlier in the week. I think he's the best defensive midfielder in the history of the sport.
Kante?
Yeah, and people said, Busquets. I don't think Busquets is the same player. I think Pirlo's and all these guys, Xavi. Makelele role, he's the best player who've ever done it. I think he's better than
better
Makelele.
footballers than Kante, but Kante's unbelievable at defence.
Off the ball, I think there's not been a midfielder like him. He goes to Leicester City, wins the Premier League. Then he goes to Chelsea, carries the Premier League with him. He wins the Champions League against Man City. He was unplayable. He makes Pogba and all the French side unbelievable in 2018, and they win the World Cup. There's not a player that's had so much of an impact on so many different sides to such a high level. He's unbelievable. He's the best. He's the best ever.
Yeah, he's generational. He's up there with top three, I reckon.
I'll tell you what, lads.
But that position didn't exist. When it was 4-4-2, that position didn't exist.
Makelele
had to do everything. You know what I mean?
Mateus is an example of someone that played that role a little bit.
So you wouldn't ever call some of those defenders defensive midfielders.
No, Makelele played in 2004 in that position. 2002.
There was a sitter 4-4-2.
But there were more.
What about WM? You got a sitter there. There are other examples. I reckon it's honestly it's a little bit. I've got to admit, it's one of the reasons why football is changing in front of our eyes, and I'm not falling in love with everything I see about it. You do get an over-reliance, I reckon, on things like stamina, that is improving like the compact blocks that we get. But for individual brilliance, I feel like maybe I'm romanticising it.
Coached out of the game.
It is getting coached out of the game from a young age.
Just look at Jack Grealish. Obviously, he leaves Aston Villa, where he's this maverick. He goes to City, where he's winning more things, and he's won the treble. He's got all those things to show. But is he a better player now? Right. What I mean?
He's probably better at getting and keeping the ball.
He's better at so many things. Of course he is.
All the magic.
But there's no magic left.
You don't enjoy. He's not a better player to watch.
Taking the magic out.
He's a better technical player. Of course he is. He's fitter. He's sharper.
He's a better coached player.
Yeah.
I still feel
on a technical level, he's a better.
When you ask him to do more, he can do it. You know what I mean? Obviously, at City,
if he went back to Aston Villa tomorrow, he'd be 5 times the player he was before he left.
Switzerland are in.
Oh, this is goal.
Oh, what a save! God, son.
That was about to be goal of the tournament.
That could have been the goal of the tournament.
Look very Hal Robson-Carney, isn't it?
Oh yeah. What
Go
a
on,
move
Angus.
That was front to back.
Angus Gunn. I just said I'm so glad that they did keep. He's made a great save here.
Look at
That's a huge save.
The save.
He had a man on the line, which was helping, but that
was a great move though, front to back, one touch football.
When you're talking about the individual brilliance, though, individual brilliance definitely comes to the fore when the game's more open. It's so tough to, when they're all sat in that low block, and where do you see that individual brilliance? It's only if somebody whacks one in the top corner or somebody beats 2 or 3.
Oh, he's made a mistake. Offside. Angus Gunn made a
Offside.
his
Got away with
Gunn's
it.
made a
Who's made a mistake?
there.
Gun.
Yeah, he come diving out, missed the ball, but it was offside. The offside's been given, I think. Check this out.
Ball in.
Like, she comes diving out.
Yeah, you've probably been asked this question loads of times, Mick, but in your... When you were growing up, who were the players that you looked up to? Who were the ones that inspired you to...
favourite player was Franz Beckenbauer.
Okay.
Used to love how he used to play. And I played nothing like him.
Okay.
So I was the antithesis of Franz Beckenbauer. I was a good defender, but how he played with the ball on the outside of a foot, he used to pass with the outside. I just loved it. And then I was a Leeds fan, so, you know, all the Leeds players, but Jack Charlton, I love Norman Hunter.
There was someone that commented today in the comments, JC, said that you and Jack Charlton are their connection to football. Like, which is, how does it feel when people say things like that to you and they've got all these memories tied up in your career?
Well, it's nice if we've had a positive effect on people and how they think about football and how they supported football. I think we both could, haven't we? Qualified for the Euros and a World Cup, Jack, at 2. So the fact that I played in a World Cup and qualified with Ireland, it's great. And that era had a huge effect on people in Ireland, you know, living in Ireland, supporting the Irish team. Of course it did, you know, 88, 90, 94. Me again then 2002. It's had a huge effect on them. Yeah. And we need to get back to it. That's what everybody wants. We all want to qualify again.
Yeah, having Ireland at a tournament so special, even with just having the fans there and everything. It's needed, man.
What's your take on Ireland at the moment in terms of the quality of players? Obviously, I think it's fair to say there's a lack of those quality players that you managed.
I've got a picture at home, and the team is from four teams, and the 4 teams were myself, Packy Bonner from Celtic. There was Kevin Moran, Frank Stapleton. Man United, there was Chris Hughton, Tony Galvin from Spurs. I'm trying to think of those. There were only 4 teams represented, and they were all the top teams. Celtic were a top team at the time. Yeah. We've won the league, and then it was 3 Premier League sides. I think if you look now, you'd be looking at Championship teams where the players are coming from. So, you know, we had. Certainly, we had more players playing in the top league than we do now.
Even in 2002, you had Robbie Keane playing at Inter Milan. I think it was back then, or certainly at Coventry.
We had Quinny, we had Robbie Keane, we had Damien Duff, Matt Holland. I think was in the Premier League.
Matt Holland was a good footballer, yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Dunn, if you've not said him already.
Richard was in there. Yeah.
Shay Given's completely underrated as a keeper. What a keeper he was.
Shay Given was magnificent. He was times in training, you know, he'd make a save, the lads would stop and clap. He was in, going in the top corner, a big hand comes out and doesn't tip it over, he catches it. It was amazing. Yeah, wonderful. So I was blessed with good players playing in the top league as well.
Out of your teammates,
Ian Hart was
which of your teammates would you have liked to have managed? Like, which of the teammates would you like? If I had him now, he just made my whole life easier.
Who I played with? It'd have to be probably one of the Irish lads. I mean, it's, I guess, Paul McGrath.
Yeah, what a player.
He's amazing.
What a player.
Just, you know, and he was so uncomplicated in how he was as a person. You know, I said about finding Jack Charlton, and he's, you know, people have their issues, but in terms of a player, he used to say to me, Mick, just you tell me where to be. I said, don't you worry, I'll make sure you're in that position there. I didn't have to tell him anything. He was so humble about it as well. He was just amazing. Amazing, lovely, lovely man, and an amazing talent. So without any doubt, Paul would be the one.
Yeah, superb player.
And I kind of got him right at the end of his career when I took the Ireland job. And, you know, I didn't get anything like Jack got out of him, so...
Yeah, unbelievable player.
Yeah,
had a few injury issues, obviously, as well.
Yeah.
But
I won't mind Robbie Keane as well.
Amazing.
All the goals he scored. I mean, Robbie was amazing.
Especially like his career early on, when he earned that move to Inter Milan, and like, he had such a how long his career was.
Yeah, I'm saying Paul, I played with him, but somebody who played for me, Robbie Keane off the scale, he was brilliant.
He seemed like a great lad to have in the dressing room.
He's
as well.
fabulous. He's a great lad, but he's one of the lads. He's clever. He's bright on and off the pitch, but he's got a great sense of humour. He's just won the league, hasn't he? With in Israel, he won the league with Tel Aviv. So he's just left as well, hasn't he? Left, and he'll be looking for a job elsewhere now, I suppose.
Did John O'Shea play for you?
No.
Because his current manager, like caretaker manager.
Yeah, he is. And I've voiced my opinion. I think they should give it to him. He's got all the lads who came through the 21s, and they all want him to have it, I think.
What a player to play for in terms of what he's achieved at club level, Champions League winner, and there's not many that you could really play for the Republic of Ireland with experience like John O'Shea.
Amazing, the amount of caps he's got, and the guy is as well. He's just such a great fella. He carries himself well. I think I was talking about Gareth Southgate, how he speaks. He speaks really well. I think players want to play for him. So that'd be my view, but maybe not everybody else.
We've got Nations League coming up.
Yeah, well, there's
in September.
England, Ireland, and the group.
England, Ireland,
yeah.
How have we made it down there? We used to be in Group A.
Got relegated last time. What are you on about, man?
Group A? What is it? Group 1?
No, we're in group like E or something now.
You got relegated, bro. Gareth Southgate relegated you.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be in the elite group with Spain and Italy and all these big boys
You're
that are
not
watching
elite.
now?
You're not elite.
You don't want to be. Just we're
I
being
don't
the
want
other
to
way.
win stuff, mate. I want football to come home, mate.
Yeah, we're not the league.
Come on.
Got bad news for you.
I want football to come home. Come on.
Football's not coming on.
No, it will eventually. It will eventually.
Of course,
We're getting
will
closer and closer.
Well, how long have we got,
Come
you?
on. How long have we got?
How long have we got?
Realistically, about.
I've been waiting 28 years.
We've probably got between 5 and 8 tournaments left.
I do.
That's
find,
depressing,
I do
isn't
find.
So you got to think about life sometimes.
Is that how you count your life?
It's why I
tournaments.
It's why I gave Gareth, the good grace of this last one. But if
He's
we don't
been here 8
win,
years,
but
Hugh.
if we don't win, we should.
8 years.
We should think about what we're doing.
I can't believe he's getting linked to Man United. It rattles my
I think you should take him. I think
No.
fantastic for you.
He wouldn't
I
get
do,
any Premier League job, really.
He would. He was at Middlesbrough. That's a Premier
What
League job.
happened there?
No, that's
That's
harsh.
harsh.
That's really harsh.
That's harsh.
No,
from
but
you.
come on, he's not a
No.
Manchester United manager.
Wait, when he was.
We've seen
when he
better
was at-
managers than Gareth Southgate fail at Manchester
When he
United.
was at Middlesbrough, did he have Janino and Ravanelli? Or
No. That was.
No, that was Brian Robson.
They had the lad from
Right, kept them
Heravine.
up, no?
Remember the Dutch striker
Alfonso Alves.
Alvarez? Yeah.
Oh, that's not the same.
I'd just
ilk.
like
Pogatetz.
I'd like to take you back to the Nations League because I find your tone about Ireland slightly derogatory, Lawrence. I have to be honest.
Yeah. Go on.
Get him, Mick.
It's just a bit of rivalry,
I really
Mick.
do. I really do.
Just a little bit of rivalry.
Yeah, that sort of went under the radar.
Oh, handball. Is he claiming handball?
No, it's a keeper, mate. He caught it.
No, but the
Maybe a corner.
defender kind of went
I'm only
across it.
teasing, by the way.
Maybe a corner he was asking for.
Yeah, so explain yourself about this Ireland thing. Go on.
No, as an England fan, I like her rivalry with Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland Republic of Ireland. I think it's just fair. When we beat Wales in Euro 2016, we had a shocking campaign. We lost to Iceland, but I can say to all my Welsh mates, we beat you 2-1. Jamie Vardy last minute.
Big
Beautiful.
moment. Big moment. Like, we need
How many
that
Welsh
as well.
mates you have for the record?
Quite a few. I'm from the West Country, so yeah, quite a few.
Checking.
Yeah.
Essentially Welsh.
If you're going through his phone book,
Fucking hell.
On my WhatsApp.
Jones, Reece.
Come on, Scotland. No! Oh, God. This is all going to fall apart, isn't it? It's just got that. It's incredible how many of the greatest managers are Scottish, yeah? Some of the greatest, in fact, the greatest is Scottish, but they just can't
Guardiola's from
get
Barcelona.
a team together. They
Guardiola's
just
from
can't,
Spain.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
That's why
so
I
you
said the
just said the
greatest is
greatest.
Scottish. He's from
Mick
Govan.
Guardiola's from Spain.
Do you think Pep's the greatest manager ever?
He's the
think
Lance
it's an
Armstrong of football.
Oh, come on.
He's got to be up there. It's how it's changed. Alex Ferguson's up there, of course, and he's
Just thinking all of the Scottish greats.
He's responsible for changing the
Fergie.
game, but how much? Like you were saying before, the
Fergie did it at
first thing that
Aberdeen.
you were doing when you were playing for Ireland is what we're calling, gegenpress or whatever we want it, all the fancy terminology we're using today. Is it not exactly the same? We've got, I don't know.
We certainly didn't keep the ball like Manchester City do, that's for sure.
But then, a Barcelona team or a Cruyff should maybe be getting more of that credit.
Oh, Cruyff should get all the credit for starting what Guardiola's finished.
Yeah.
The offside's just been shown. We're going to have this in the Premier League, apparently.
I don't get it.
Kind of
It's so harsh, I think.
offside. No, it's a correct
Looks
decision,
harsh.
man.
Alex Ferguson still for me, it was amazing what he did at Manchester United. How he managed that club. Well, it's testament that nobody else has got anywhere near it. Nowhere near.
And people forget what he did with Aberdeen as well, I think. Like, just to break up the dominance of Celtic Rangers, beat Real Madrid in a European final. Like, with Aberdeen.
Last club to do that, isn't it?
And
With Aberdeen.
nobody can win anything with kids, of course. Sir Alan said. I hope he's all right, by the way.
Yes, that was sad news on it about
That was awful news, yeah.
I think he's hopefully better now. But
Well, you're talking about good players. I'm just saying that, Alan Hansen said nobody wins out with kids, and he did. And so I'm just saying, I hope he's okay.
Oh, yeah. Best wishes
Best wishes to him and his
to
family.
Alan Hansen.
We're talking about good players.
And footballing centre-back.
He was off.
Alan Hansen was right up there in terms of... Because people think centre-backs only have to pass out now. They've been doing it for years. Like you spoke about Beckenbauer earlier. You look at Alan Hansen, like, they were that mould of
Graham Souness says he's the best ever, and I wouldn't argue against it because he's,
whatever in football.
I wouldn't argue with Graham Souness.
Football and centre-backs.
Yeah.
So you could have somebody who you prefer, but there's not going to be if you can say he's much better than him, I'd find that hard to believe, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because he was magnificent.
What about the Barnsley Beckenbauer and John Stones? How do you rate him?
Oh, well, he's... Pep's made him into a player. I mean, I remember... I never thought he was the best defender. I just thought he was a really good footballing centre-half. And having him gone into midfield, I mean, that's just incredible how he's played in there. I think he's become better. I also think that... tell me his name. This psychic who plays against him for Manchester City, the centre-back.
Diaz.
Diaz. He helped him.
100%.
And suddenly we've got this really solid, tough, robust centre-half. Who can play, by the way, but was a proper centre-half. And I think John Stones benefited from him.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
He's super impressive, man. I remember the first time I saw him was in a penalty shootout for Everton in the States. And he did a Panenka.
Did he?
And it was just like, you're way too confident for your age. But he just strikes me as someone who Pep's been able to just translate that philosophy perfectly. He fits the typical Barca mould.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought he was a good footballer. He's a much better defender now.
Yeah.
Because there was a time at Manchester City, it looked like he might be leaving. He was out of the team, wasn't
He was quite skinny as well. He put a bit of muscle on.
He's grown.
He's grown.
Oh, he's fabulous.
He was great against Serbia. Some of the balls coming in, heading things away. It was no doubt.
That's the worry for England, I think, if he gets injured.
Oh, we're out. We're out of the tournament instantly.
It's over, yeah.
Honestly.
When we look back in 20...
Spoken like a true fan, Lawrence.
No. Honestly, Mick, book the Ryanair flights, mate, because we're out. If Stones is out, he's more important than Harry Kane. I think we could. There's a version where we win the Euros without Harry Kane.
Oh, this makes me laugh with Harry Kane because nobody's wanted him in there every time. All I heard was negative about Harry Kane. I said, well, hold on a minute. Man United, he's a defender. He keeps it out of his net. And then when he's not in the squad, they're all whinging about it. I thought, what's all that about? It's
So,
nonsense.
look, what happens in, we're looking back at the past, we're celebrating what Ireland did. People will, especially if we don't win a tournament in the not too distant future, look back on the achievement of Southgate, Maguire, Stones, these type of guys as some of the best to have ever done it for England.
Yeah.
Massively underrated, massively disrespected for the achievements. Although people can say things about, massively disrespected,
Pickford.
man. Talk about easy draws
But
and
you
whatnot.
have to, if they don't win, if they've
so
not won anything
disrespectful.
for England, and quite frankly, Harry Maguire's more often than not stank the place out for Manchester United. You can't call them great players.
For England, he's got a better legacy than John Terry, Rio
We've got
Ferdinand.
different-
But
different
ultimately,
guys
they're not, he's
turning
not.
up,
To say that they're, you kind of suggest they're better players than them. They're not.
It's not
And
about who's
England will be
better.
better with Rio Ferdinand or John Terry in the team.
No, but as an
Yeah,
England
but
legacy,
How much did they win there? So you've got to say how effective they are. It's not, this about being good players and standout players and star players. We're on about the centre midfield players that I was on about that don't stand out. They don't stand out for their ability. They stand out for the ability to nick it off other people and give it to other people. So it's how effective you are in your position is my view on it. And sometimes, you know, if you're a centre forward, you want to be scoring goals, but there are some that actually set it up for others. And the lads alongside him are getting all the kudos for scoring the goals, but actually it's him that sticks it, it's him that sets it up. It's how effective you are in your position.
I think
that's my view on it.
Yeah, I think you're almost referring, I think, Mick, a little bit to Sterling. I think that's apt for what you just said, because I think Raheem Sterling gave so much space to all the players like the Grealishes of the world. Harry Kane got so many goals in 2018 because of Raheem Sterling's work, and he's not at the tournament. I think he's hugely missed by Southgate. Obviously, I'm not criticising him not being in the squad, but
Raheem Sterling, I've seen him play this year, and he wouldn't. You know, I wouldn't have been taking him. I don't think he's...
No, but in the sense of what he achieved for England, getting England to a semi-final of the World Cup, getting England to a final.
I agree with his career. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not now.
But, you know, if we talk in the here and now...
That's where we are with Saka, man. Saka is the guy who is so efficient, so effective, that despite the fact that we've got the Premier League's best player of the year, we're putting him in a place he doesn't want to be or he doesn't naturally fit. We're trying to squeeze him in anyhow, simply because this guy is so reliable. And statistically, I mean, you're going to be pushed to find a player who can be more efficient in world football.
You're so good, man.
This isn't taking... You're right about Saka, but I do think with Foden, it comes down to be a case of, I don't think the manager is suited to get the best out of those kind of players. Yeah. Like I think he finds it easier with the likes of a Saka or you know, all these other Henderson and that. But when it comes to actually getting the best out of these football players, I don't think his style of play is... It's kind of what we were speaking about earlier with, you know, some of these Mavericks. Now, he's kind of getting coached out of them. And I think Gareth Southgate asked for different things from his players.
Do you think, well, Pep Guardiola, for one, is such a talented player. Do you think they make better managers to get the best out of, like I'm saying, about the sexy players, for want of a better word?
Yeah.
So they have more tolerance to them not maybe tracking back or
because kind of
not winning a tackle or not winning a header when they should do, or they have more tolerance because they were one of those players.
Yeah.
But as a centre half, and I'm guilty of it, find it really irking when they don't do it, you know, because they take the plaudits for the brilliance, but if they let the team down by not winning a tackle, not winning a header, not tracking back, you know, it can't be overlooked. You need, and by the way, you know, I'm looking at Manchester City, they've won everything because they've got everybody doing all the jobs. Nobody lets anybody run, nobody misses a tackle, nobody. You've got to be like that to win the league 3 times in a row.
Four in a row.
4 in a row, sorry.
He's lost count.
4
in a row.
You know what I mean? It's getting a bit boring, isn't it? Come on.
Big asterisks on them, though.
I wasn't wrong, though. They did win 3 in a row.
There was 3 in there.
I know,
yeah. But I think Phil Foden sacrificed his game in the Serbia game. I think he worked very hard off the ball. There's a couple of moments where he didn't get the right touch and there was a ball fizzed into him. But he worked so hard for England.
See, there's times when you ask him to do a job because you know maybe your fullback's going to be exploited a little bit. You think that could be a difficult one today. So you ask your winger or your wide player, listen, just track back. And it might be to his detriment in terms of his ability to show himself as how good he is skillfully.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you don't concede, he's the first one you go and pat on his back and say, listen, tactically, we won because of you today.
Would you change anything for the next game? From the 11 that you saw, is there anything? What about Trent in midfield for you? Does that make sense based on Wharton being in there? Conor Gallagher's a midfielder. You've got Kobbie Mainoo, who's had a fantastic season. Why is there right back playing in midfield for England?
Yeah, and I think that's developed. But he goes from the right back position normally to go into midfield. He doesn't just start in midfield, and there is a difference. There's a difference because one midfield player's run out of there, and the other one comes in. He comes in as a fullback. There's nobody around him. I think it's a different way of playing. Definitely. I mean, surely they've got midfield players. If they can get him on the ball, he's got as good a passing range as anybody.
Adam Wharton, I don't see much of him, Mick.
I haven't, but I saw more of him when he was at Blackburn.
Oh yeah,
and he was excellent.
Of course he did.
But he's just been outstanding, hasn't he?
But it'd be worrying. I've never managed anyone in my life. I can barely manage myself to get out of bed.
I can't take that seriously though, because as much as I see him having a role, it's in the future. You would have all the names under the sun for Gareth if he was to play a kid as inexperienced
Oh,
as that.
I'm not saying about playing him. He's a good player.
Oh,
He's had a
of
good
course.
season.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not saying playing. No way.
No.
I just think
what I'm saying, if Kobe Mainoo
Trent-
started against Serbia and had a bad game,
Even
then you
that-
can say
that
someone else.
even-
But it has to be anyone but Trent, in my opinion.
Your
because
Trent shouldn't be playing. The midfielders in that team would be like in midfield.
Hugh, you look
Trent
back
should
and
be
you
playing
think,
in midfield.
Hugh, 5 minutes in, a ball gets fizzed into him. There's no one behind him.
No, but there is.
And he bobbles
there
a
is
touch.
someone
No, but
behind
not-
him because
not-
what's happening now is
not
Declan Rice is going to
touch
drop
tight,
between
Hugh,
the
not-
two centre backs.
He wasn't getting
That's
marked
his job.
touch
He's
tight.
not a midfielder.
He wasn't
Who,
getting...
Trent?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mate, if he was a great midfielder, he
He's not
wouldn't be
a
playing
midfielder.
right back.
no.
He's not a midfielder.
I mean, he's okay.
Like-
Hold on a second. Let me ask you something, right? Is Trent a right back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, on paper, where he starts him on the pitch, perhaps, yeah. But in everything else that he does, who's been covering for him?
He
at
ain't
right
got the
back?
wing mirrors
but
for midfield.
Who's been covering him because of that? Klopp knows that, so who's been covering? You've had a midfielder in there with energy, legs, tenacity, aggression, who's going to win the ball back and cover every time he slips forward. Henderson was the key.
And Van Dijk.
Whoever else.
Yeah. Salah.
But we have someone who's going to allow a player who is technically on the ball in the top 97 percentile in terms of creativity, in terms of what he can see between the lines. You're not going to, I mean,
But
you're not going to find
The issue
a
is we've
talent
seen
like
it
that.
now, Hugh. We've seen it. There are 0 crosses into the box in open play from Trent in the game. Harry Kane, we're mythically meant to be seeing Harry Kane scoring loads more goals because Trent's getting service into him. Harry Kane looked worse because of Trent in midfield. I think Foden looked worse. The midfield looks slower. If you're asking a midfielder at the highest level international football to receive a ball with very minimal pressure, he wasn't getting touch tight from the Serbian midfielder, and you can't turn on the half turn at that level, you're going to get munched up in midfield. He's not a midfielder.
Do you think if England play France, Portugal, Spain, whoever tomorrow, Trent should start there?
Nah, it's Gallagher. When you're playing against a quality side to win the ball back as early as possible, I reckon, in the way that he's trying to sort of set up with Foden and everyone. All of this is because of, ultimately, because he's got Bellingham, who he has to play, Foden, who he's trying desperately to squeeze in, Xhaka, who he can't drop. And as a result, I get it, man. We've got a lot of talent. I just think Trent is way too talented to not be involved in this team.
Maybe it's a back
It's
five.
a massive loss, man.
Do
Yeah,
you
you
not
can't
have
talk
to
about
just make your
inexperience.
decision between
He's
right back?
literally
I'm not on about
deep into every
inexperience.
tournament
He's
at
not
the
a
very
central
top.
midfielder, though.
Isn't
And like
he?
maybe you
Isn't
could
he?
talk about
I
it
don't
for the
know. I
future
don't
and this,
know.
that, but he's
I
not.
don't know, man.
And if I'm a central midfielder and I'm sat on
you
the
don't know
bench,
after
whether I'm
Serbia.
Wharton, Kobe Mainoo, or
Hold on.
whoever,
But you
He's
saw
not
it
a
in
right.
Serbia.
He's
I'm
not
not
a right back, right? Because defensively, we don't trust him. 1-on-1, you know that he's going to get destroyed on a regular basis. So
What about
is
right
it?
wing back? Five at the back. You play Carl Walker as a centre back with Stones Gahey. You play Luke Shaw's a wing back. He's fantastic as a wing back.
Luke
And you
Shaw's
play Trent
broken
as a right
biscuits
wing.
right now.
I tell you what you do. You don't.
Not next game.
You don't play him. If you're a midfield player, play a midfield player. Rather than shoehorning him. He doesn't play midfield for Liverpool, and I think he's wonderful. I really do. And
I don't know if
he
he
comes
has
from
to
that position, and he plays in midfield when the midfield player's gone. Centre back comes and plays on almost at right back for him, and he sits there. But he's getting the ball when everything's in front of him. He's not getting it rolled into him when he's got players around him, which he will be doing if he's a midfield.
And he's also on the flank
But if he
where
does it- if
he's
he-
only got people coming from the left.
I know if he just thinks that it's.
That's what he wants, though, isn't it? Because he's swinging it in with his right foot.
You look limited against Serbia, and that's Serbia.
I don't know if he's
Go on,
going to
look.
be staying during the game centre mid. He's going to be pushing out to right mid.
But you need your midfielders to be in midfield
Well, Bellingham's basically got a free role.
because
so
teams are
he'll
going to
be able
match up. So then if you got 3-on-3 in midfield, but one of your midfielders
No,
is
it's
still
not
thinking
three.
he's a right back.
We're not three. I don't think. We're not three.
It's funny that they say he's not a good defender. Well, if he's not a good defender at right back, he won't be a particularly good defender in the centre of midfield.
I don't see him as a
either.
defender at all.
No, I'm just saying. If he's not a defender, he's a guy that can use the ball. I think in the middle of the park, if you have got Bellingham running on, yes, you've got Declan Rice. If you want two sitters, you're right. Gallagher's we've all got different choices, but if you think you want midfield players in there, do you see him as a midfield player? As you picked him as a midfield player, then pick him. But if he's picking him as a right back and playing him in centre midfield in front of centre midfield players, I can tell you all my centre midfield players will be knocking on my door and wanted to ask me why.
And it's an interesting tournament. It's not like maybe when Roy Hodgson inherited an old England side. There was an old Lampard and Gerrard in Brazil. This is a side he's picked. Kobbie Mainoo, who's just won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Adam Wharton, I think, for me, should be starting. Not because he's better than Kobbie Mainoo.
I haven't seen enough of him.
He's a deep line. He's more of a Carrick kind of midfielder for me. I think he's more of that kind of. He sprays it side to side. Kobbie Mainoo is a bit more explosive down the middle. Plays that first ball.
You've got
and
the
a bit more
advantage
risky.
of being left-footed as well.
Yeah,
That is an advantage.
I think you have to. I think Denmark's a great opportunity because they drew against Slovenia to rotate, get that rotation and get Gordon
Wait,
in.
hold on. What, against Denmark? You want to start trying things? This is crazy.
You can't.
This
You
is why
can't.
you're not a
mix it up.
manager, honestly. Honestly, he's just got a clean
Yeah, but
sheet out of
Southgate's
these
rotated
guys.
throughout the groups. He did it in the World Cup when we got out of the group very easily. 2018, he always rotates one or two anyway because of legs and fatigue.
So are you ready to see Kobbie Mainoo against or Wolfson
Over Trent,
against
1,000,000%.
Denmark?
Over Trent, 1,000,000%.
Okay.
Can I just say though, Kobbie Mainoo, whenever he's been asked to step up, big games, big moments, Kobbie Mainoo steps up on a regular basis for Manchester.
I'd have Trent all day long anyway because I just think he's a wonderful footballer. But if the thing is you're having a midfield player, if you think you want a midfield player and it's any doubts about him, Gareth quite clearly hasn't. I've been playing him. It's
He can't
what
receive
we're
the ball.
saying
in
about him, though.
half-time.
He can't defend it right back. He can't defend it midfield. I mean, we're giving him a bit of a hard time here because he's a magnificent player.
He needs protection for sure.
Magnificent
I mean, I just think he's way too talented to not be involved in some way. And, you know, creatively, he can do it from all ends of the pitch, man.
So then, do you
Like,
not
he's got
just
the
have to
60,
sacrifice
70
Kyle
yard
Walker? for
pingers. Huh?
that? Do you not just have to sacrifice Kyle Walker for that?
No, absolutely not. We want to defend.
I mean,
them.
in the
no-
right
got
back
no
position.
quality.
In the right back position.
no.
If Trent's this talent that you can't miss out on.
I just don't
You
see
don't
him
play
as a
him
right
out.
back. I know it's criminal to say that, but I don't see Trent
Yeah.
as a right
No,
back.
I hear you, but he's not a midfielder.
Sometimes you just don't play him.
What is he?
Sometimes
Then?
you just
Can we
don't play
define him?
I don't know. I don't. Do you think Arnie Slot's going to come in at Liverpool and stick him in midfield?
No idea what Arnie's talked about. Or if Trent isn't just going to become the next Real Madrid player.
Goes to
I don't
Real
know.
Madrid.
I don't know.
Well, I wonder, John Stones won't be playing in midfield anytime soon. He goes and plays in midfield, but he won't be playing there for the rest of his career. Nobody they won't play him in there for the rest of his career.
But he doesn't have the
After that,
passing range of Trent.
But Declan
No,
Rice has
I'm
got
just-
that
I'm talking
passing
about
range, and
moving him out of position.
Right.
So John Stones went in there and was a huge success. And he moves into there and plays in there and he ends up in the 18-yard box. But that's Manchester City. They have the ball all the time as well. But I just don't see him. I'll tell you, if you took him out of the Man City side, I don't think anybody else is going to take him as a midfield player and play him.
Right.
That of it's
Spot on.
tactics dependent, right?
spot on. Yeah, 100.
And the manager that's there.
So it's sometimes it's the manager getting, exactly that. Jurgen got Trent playing at fullback, and somehow have managed to get the midfield players running out there, and he goes and plays in midfield, and all of a sudden he's got all this expanse, he can spray the ball around, and he's magnificent at it. But that's Jurgen's tactic. England don't play that way. He's starting in midfield. It's a different position.
Also, if he starts in midfield, they're going to stick a midfielder on him, which means you're going to have that.
There were also a couple of times, admittedly, in that last game when he did receive the ball, and you know, like players like Scholes or Lampard, they're famous for like the scanning.
Yeah.
Like you can see, he doesn't have eyes in the back of his head because he's just not used.
You
to
need
it.
wing mirrors to be playing in midfield, and I don't think he's got them.
I just like him on the ball, man.
No, he's
Who's
very good.
swinging the ball in like that? No, he's the best since like.
But then
Beckham.
Harry Kane doesn't stay in the box. So then who's he swinging the ball into the box for? Do you know what I mean? Because Harry Kane drops deep a lot of the time. He's not one of those
He's
strikers.
getting too old to drop deep now as well. Some start goal hanging, Harry.
Yeah, because I think that benefits and makes it more reasonable to pick Trent. If you've got a striker that stays in the box, but if you've got a striker, and look, Harry Kane's
I'm
one of the
not
best
sure-
strikers in the world.
I'm not sure anybody crosses it anyway now. They all want to cut it back.
Yeah.
I tell you what impressed me. It was Austria, going back to them. They put crosses in the box. They kept sticking the ball in the box and making them defend.
It's funny that, isn't it? I don't know why that's just become. People are scared to do that now. You know, put it in the mixer.
Yeah, because
in the danger zone.
they think
the
you're playing
corridor of
percentage
unfair.
balls. So if you're giving the ball away 50% of the time,
Yeah, but this
you're
is
then
what
on
I
the
mean
count.
about football.
But this is what football has become a stats game now, isn't it?
We want robots. We want robots who can deliver the same repeated actions at the highest pace possible. There's no freedom left. There's no, show me what you can do or think on the spot. I reckon
Carlo
Trent is
Ancelotti,
right.
like.
Exactly. That's a rare Wenger-like. It's the rarity, man. For
But Wenger's
freedom.
teams were very.
Oh no, I've set him off.
No,
got
very
the-
regimented.
I was just
Yeah.
He's got
We'll
the
argue
Wenger
about United.
He's got the Wenger button.
No, but yeah, Mick will back me up on this.
Go on.
Even Wenger had some times. No, but Wenger's teams, whilst he allowed for freedom and stuff like that, they were still very regimented. Like in terms of the way they're passing, still allowed for more expansion and expressiveness and all that kind of stuff. But they were still, you had to pass and play in a certain type of way.
I mean, yes, passing-wise, but I think he's famous for giving them the freedom, trusting them, because he had the back four.
Yeah.
He inherited the defence. Everything was solid. So now it's about creativity, imagination, art, and that is maybe it's again like romanticising.
I think
but
it's getting coached out of the game. I
Like, even
think now
Sev-
like Pep would hate Ronaldinho or something.
he doesn't get picked. What?
Like you know what I mean? Like,
Does he get in the team?
you're
You're taking too many risks.
Yeah, what are you doing?
You're losing the ball
Just stay on
28
the left
times a
and cut
half.
it back. Stop.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Pep hates Haaland as well.
Haaland is frustrating him, you can tell.
I think he hates Haaland. What do you think about that, Booth? Do I sound mad when I say that? Sorry, yeah. Wolfing down. Have we just scared Mick McCarthy?
He's not
off?
his favourite, no
We
way.
haven't, have we?
He's not
No,
his favourite.
he'd have. What? He's a famous quote. He said, "I'd have 11 Xavis on the pitch." I think he said something like that at Barcelona. He doesn't like anyone big. He doesn't like anyone different. He'd love 11 playmakers that all could just play total football. So I'm eating a Mars bar. Not very good.
No bananas today.
No, didn't find any mate in my local Tesco. Someone Switzerland.
I've heard someone in the comments, I don't know how true it is, have said Sky Sports are reporting that England will make no changes to the team tomorrow.
No changes. Trent starts. Ooh,
So it'd be the same team.
risking it all.
Crazy.
I'm here for it. I'm actually enjoying the fact that we've won, got a clean sheet, got that 3 points under the belt. You know?
Underrated. A clean sheet.
I think
Yeah,
it's
huge.
a big result. I'm someone that likes to criticise things, but just winning your first game, get it done. Then
I don't know. I think that they felt, looking at the team sheet, they looked like they could have been a banana skin. Like Vlahovic, Mitrovic,
you got
Tadic coming off the bench.
your man in the middle who's always linked to Man United.
Milinkovic-Savic.
Yeah, the
Oh
keeper.
yeah, that's like every year.
Yeah, the keeper that used to be at Man United, in it. Oh no, he never.
Dubravka?
No.
No.
Who's that kid you signed in
Who
2007?
was-
Serbian
who
winger.
was the player?
Tosic.
Our keeper that I'm on about is Milinkovic-Savic. So I think.
Who's that Serbian winger you had back in the day? Tosic.
Oh, Zoran
Remember him?
Tosic. We bought
Yeah.
him with Adam Yajic. So we
Crazy.
had Adam Yajic and Zoran Tosic, and we bought them in quite cheap. They hung around for a bit, and then Zoran Tosic went somewhere else in the Prem, didn't he?
Birmingham City?
No, that was Zigic. You're thinking of Nikola Zigic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I've got some great Premier League knowledge, but if you ask me what happened last season,
Mate, I can't
It's difficult for me to pin down like dates, specific games and whatnot because it's.
Hmm. remember the FA Cup.
Fergie years, I'm very good at that because I was very geeky.
I
with
watch
it.
too much now, where it's becoming
yeah.
a blur.
Like I'll forget. I can't remember during last season. I remember we were watching a game and someone spoke about Chelsea 4, City 4, and I was like, I can't remember.
That was the craziest.
And it was
game,
one of the
man.
best games
That
of the
was
season.
The
but I was like,
craziest game.
I can't remember that game because we've watched so much football since then. Like we are inundated. with
It's non-stop now, man.
Like back in the day, you never got to see, unless you went to every game, you never got to see 90 minutes of
No, you
players
can't.
every
I
time.
used to. Sometimes it's just teletext.
Yeah,
bro. Never-
teletext,
or radio.
Alan
yeah.
Green. I loved
Yeah.
Alan Green's voice. It was weird. I'm sure the BBC used to do this thing as well, where the first half of a half, they'd have one commentator, and then Alan Green, I think his name was coming.
Were you more 5 Live or Talk
Five
Sport?
Live? No,
5 Live.
Live. They had better commentators and stuff.
So Talk Sport, I used to listen to like late night stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
James
yeah.
Whale.
Yeah.
And then for football, I was 5 Live.
I remember listening to a lot of, probably can't say it, Tim Westwood late on.
Ooh.
We can't go there, man.
I know we're not allowed to say
No,
that.
but there was a period of time where it was like, if you liked hip hop rap,
Yeah, he was the one.
he was the only show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way Westwood Crib Sessions came about was because, like, Giggs wasn't allowed into the BBC studio, so he was like, I'm just going to do it at my house.
Really, yeah.
It was quite sick. Anyway, we're waiting for we're hoping Mick McCarthy hasn't left us. Because we did just like, I don't know.
Well, he's a
I
manager
think
with 30
Hugh
years
cut him off
experience.
at once,
and he's
Buvey
seen,
wasn't listening.
look, he's seen Trent getting played in midfield. Right, and we're justifying it for some reason.
Yeah, he's like
he's
these
done a
three
runner.
idiots who haven't even
He
got
thinks it's going to cost him his next job.
we
Mick
haven't got an
McCarthy.
FA coaching badge between them.
Also, you referred to him in the past tense. He's still an active manager, Adam. He's still a manager.
Ask him if he's going to get back in.
But when we were talking to him, he said, all the teams you used to manage and all that. He's still...
Yeah, because he managed in the past.
Yeah, but you referred to him in the past tense. He's still a manager.
Why are you scared and looking at the door?
Huh? Make sure you subscribe. We never do these messages, but make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've been watching and enjoying the content. Some great guests recently. We've had Neve, obviously Spencer.
That was a great show, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great show. And of course, Mick McCarthy as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it. It helps us out massively.
Yeah, the game's back underway as well. We're 50 minutes in. What's happened here? Players, is he holding his ribs? Scott McTominay.
There's nothing there. Nothing there.
Scott McTominay here. Oh no. Oh, that's nothing, man. McGinn's just
Nothing.
giving McGinn's done the old Harry Kane special, you know, just
Yeah. Backed into him.
You just make a little arch in your back for them.
Nothing there.
Who's the nastiest player you've ever played against, Mick? Because players used to get away with a little bit more when you were playing.
Oh, toughest.
Yeah, toughest is a better word.
Yeah, it was certainly played differently. You know. Norman Whiteside, we had a good scrap
What
at
a
Old
player.
Trafford once. Yeah, he was a wonderful footballer. Yeah, but we played against each other at Old Trafford, and I don't know, there must have been 65 minutes gone, and the ball bounced between us. And the pair of us looked at it as if to say, "What the hell's that?" we've been having a scrap. He stood on me and walked all the way up my back. We landed in the box, and he trampled all over me, and I bashed him, and he bashed me. And then we met up afterwards a Saturday night, accidentally, and had a couple of pints together, and it was the best crack ever, just chatting about it. He was a great guy.
He was the youngest player at a World Cup, wasn't he?
But a wonderful footballer, but he was
Youngest player at the World Cup,
Yeah.
I think, for Ireland.
But without doubt, the toughest is Billy Whitehurst. Seriously, played with Hull, played with Newcastle. He was off the scale, Billy.
What's going on here? Who's down?
But there were some, and Jimmy Case was playing as Jimmy Case when he was at Brighton. Tough. I mean, real tough. Graham Souness, you know, but great players.
Graham Souness had some balls on him. Innit?
Not just, you know. I mean, Big Billy. You're not going to call him a great player, but he was a real handful, a big centre forward. But, he was bloody tough.
Graham Souness planted the flag.
Souness was amazing. Graham.
Yeah, the flag in Turkey.
The flag in Turkey, remember?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
to do that in Turkey. Remember like all the Welcome to Hell stuff when Manchester United went there in 94 and Galatasaray knocked us out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to do that there and to wind them up proper, that is...
Would you plant
I
a
was-
Wolves fan in the Hawthorns?
Well, I was I was doing TV with Graham over in Ireland, and what was the game when Mourinho sort of winked snidely in one of the games, and it caused real aggravation. It was back over in Italy.
El Clasico, wasn't it? El Clasico?
No, he was Juventus.
Oh, I think he was.
In-
Was
Oh,
he was at Manchester
Juve,
United, one and they won, and he sort of winked a real sneaky old wink, and they all went mad. And
Juventus.
Graham's saying to me, he said, he said he shouldn't be doing that. That's just out of order. He's inciting the crowd. I went, hey? I said, and there's you put in what was the flag in Turkey? You put the opposition's flag in. I said, and there's me at Norwich going like that to him, and I said, how could we even suggest that that's caused trouble? So we laughed about it. And he says, oh, that was an important game. It was great guy. He's a fabulous bloke.
So you were winding up Norwich City fans, were you? When you were at Ipswich? Was there a bit of rivalry between you and the fans? The Norwich fans?
Oh, you'd expect that, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Always,
yeah.
always, yeah.
But some managers are very good at downplaying it, aren't they? And being courteous and stuff. Were you kind of living up to it a little bit? It's a fierce start. It's an underrated derby in England, isn't it?
It is actually, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, they'll put it down as the biggest one, but everybody does. Everybody's derby's supposed the biggest one, but I have news for them that Celtic Rangers is bigger than any of them. It's off the scale. Sorry, and I've done Man United, Man City. And, you know, when I was playing for Barnsley, I used to think Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United or anybody. But Celtic Rangers, we talked about it before. It's just you've got to go, lads. You've got to get him.
Yeah.
And then tell me what you think afterwards, because I can't really do it justice.
Yeah. Nice. Defo on the bucket list for me.
Yeah. I took TC to one of them. We went up, Terry and myself went, and we sat in the stand. You could feel the stand. He felt like it was moving. Amazing experience watching the game. Yeah.
At Ibrox, or was that at Celtic?
No.
I don't
Can't go out. Sitting Ibrox.
Yeah.
No. I remember we were at Ibrox and we'd scored, and so I wasn't playing. I've probably suspended. We jumped up to celebrate it with me. I think it was Peter Grant. Anyway, me and the lads are in there, and the managers' wives and directors jumped to celebrate it. And there's only about 10 people. Everybody else were like that, staring at us. So they equalised, and I've never felt as much spit come my way in my life. They're all spitting at us and giving us, because it's 1-1. So anyway, when we scored the winner, I did stand up again, of course, but I discreetly left about 5 minutes before the end. Oh dear, that was
Smart.
Yeah.
Are you still open to managerial roles?
Yes, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm not retired.
Your agent's still out there looking?
The game may have retired me.
You had any interviews recently?
So. No, and I've never got a job I've applied for yet. So it's usually come when there's a bit of a mess going on. And I said I've done all right with some messes, and I've also left messes where I inherited them. So I'm not retired. I'd be open if there's an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, we needed you. We had a game not long ago. We definitely needed a manager.
God, yeah.
We definitely needed a manager.
Oh, you're talking about you run out of the den?
Yeah.
Oh, they played at Millwall as well.
Yeah, we played a sort of.
Would have been ideal.
We disgraced ourselves at
Played in
Millwall, which was
We played an exhibition game at the Den a few weeks ago. It was shocking.
I managed a team against the rugby lads at the Den last year, and we got a good hiding. So, I turned up, I'm serious, all these influencers with turkey teeth.
Oh my God.
That's what it was. There was a few footballers and all these rugby lads who were really fit. And the rugby lads pasted us. They caned us, yeah.
It's a modern game.
Yeah.
It's all
also
about
like the
fitness.
ex-footballers must turn up and be like this.
And I've got one young lad at the side of me, and he's telling me what he's telling me, because he should have been picked, he should have been playing. He's telling me what was happening. And it's a charity match. I'm thinking, like, shut up.
Oh, wow.
I know.
You wouldn't have liked me then, Mick. It's still 1-1 here between Scotland and Switzerland. Scotland holding their own. They're keeping their shape quite well. But they do need
A draw's a good result, I think. If they can get a win in the final game, gives them 4 points.
That's true.
It's not a bad.
Probably one of the best third place teams.
Yeah, 4 points gets them through, I think.
Hungary is surely the game that they're trying to win as well.
Yeah, they can beat them. I thought Hungary would get through the group. What do I know about football?
This would be a very good draw. Half an hour left though, long time.
Mick, your experience with the press has been, you've always given us a laugh in press conferences and stuff. One of my favourite quotes to use when someone said, some people would say that's 2 points dropped. And you replied saying, some people can fuck off. Did you just turn up?
That was true. Yeah,
with a little bit of, did you always look to cause a little bit of mischief, get one back on?
Not at all. No. Because, they, like I said, they test you out with some of the questions. And they're all set up for that, aren't they? The questions that they ask at times. Here we are.
What a touch from him.
That I'm sure was at Burnley. That quote, and we'd just come off and got a great point at Burnley, and some people, and I was right, some people can fuck off because I've come away thinking that's a great point. It's another point that you can't take off me, like So
is that Wolves? Sorry, you're at Wolves. Got a point against Burnley.
Yeah, at Burnley. Sure that was that. Sure that was the game. And questions I get asked. I got asked when I was at. I'm sure I was at Sunderland. We were playing Norwich and we'd been beaten. Was it Sunderland at Wolves? Can't remember. Anyway, we'd been beaten 5-2. I'd had one sent off. We'd had 2 own goals. We'd had anything that could go wrong. could go wrong. And the journalist had waited an hour for me to come out because I was seething. And I came up, suited and booted, and they've got the camera ready. And he says, so Mick, what are the positives can you take out of that? I said, you're having a fucking laugh at me. And walked off, and that was my interview for the day. Yeah. I mean, what positives could I have took out of it? So no, I didn't do it on purpose. My response was generally because of the question I got asked. Sometimes I felt it was like such a stupid question; it deserved a stupid answer.
Did you feel sometimes that they just became a chore, or could you send messages to your players and things like that as well via press conferences? And what do you make of managers that kind of call out their team in press conferences?
Oh, I've never done that. I don't call the team out, not at all, because that's not going to get you anywhere. They don't want to hear that. Players, I didn't want to hear it. You know, the manager going saying, because it's almost like saying that it's their fault. Well, it's not. You know, we were talking that beforehand about the message that the manager was giving them. What is the message the manager's giving them? No, I tell you, there was once I got accused of calling the players out at Wolves because I went into the press conference and I don't know what we played. Coming to the end of the season, the lads are knackered, and I was chatting away and I said the lads were running on empty. So anyway, then the following morning, I got my press guy sends to me, Mick, you never said this, did you? I said, so what? He said, you called them non-entities. My team were non-entities. I went, hey?
Oh, wow.
I said, anyway, I waited for the press conference and the following week or fortnight, whenever we played, and there's the clown who'd said it. And I said, but unfortunately for me, it's there. It's in print. It's being done. So I called him out. I said, you said I call my players non-entities. I said, I would never do that. I said we were running on empty. And he knew that by then, of course. I said, anyway, what did you think when you went out? Did you never think that nobody, when you printed it on the Sunday morning and you didn't see anybody else print that I'd call my teams non-entities? What the fuck?
You thought you had an exclusive.
You had an exclusive. You were in a press conference with like 30 other journalists. Did you not think anybody else would have picked it up?
Yeah.
Oh. I said, you're a clown. Seriously.
Just to update, Kieran Tierney's gone off injured and it looks like a bad one. So, I mean, his tournament, we don't know because we can't hear the commentators, but his tournament could be over.
Oh, is it gone off?
Kieran Tierney.
He was waving for help, wasn't he?
Yeah. McKenna's replaced him.
Good player, Tierney, as well. They'll miss him massively. Got a lot of experience at that level as well.
Yeah, he's quite injury prone though.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
What did you make of him at Arsenal?
He was a huge part, actually, of the transition to us becoming a more serious team again, for sure. I think he embodied everything that we really needed at the club, which was like full investment from the player. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve and all that. And he's a damn good left back, basically. He's been playing Sociedad.
Yeah, he's in Spain now, isn't he?
I
kind of rate that, like players going. We never used to see British players really take that gamble and go abroad. I like to see players go in there in their pomp. You played out in France.
Played in Lyon.
Yeah.
I went to Lyon, yeah.
How does that materialise?
I think from Raymond Domenech watching the 88 Euros.
Right.
He'd seen me play for Ireland in the Euros. And then, of course, I'd gone to Celtic and had probably the most successful time of my career, won the double, and then so it came out of that, born from that. It went well. My debut against Marseille.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah,
Blimey.
at home, and it probably got the headline that one of the better headlines. Debut catastrophique.
Oh.
You didn't have to learn French to know what they were saying there, innit?
Oh no. Oh no.
What does this mean in French?
Chris Waddle was playing for Marseille. He came on and I think I blocked 2 on the line as well. I stopped 2 going and I still had a debut catastrophique. And I met, so I told about press guys, I met the guy that wrote that years later. He came up to me, introduced himself. He said, do you remember me? I said, do I remember you? Debut catastrophe.
What was the issue? Was it just players getting past you? Was there any mistakes?
I was just
Just
pretty rubbish.
What is this? 1990?
Yeah, 1990.
Right.
Well,
So did you play against?
89. I signed from in
Okay.
89, and then I played in the World Cup in 90. But
Did you play against Stojkovic with Marseille, the Serbian manager?
if I did, I can't remember.
Right. I think he was. I think he signed in 1990.
Mm. Good Marseille side.
Well, it was
It's outrageous.
no, it was 89 because I signed. That was the first game of the season. I left in March 1990 to play in the World Cup. I came out of Millwall.
Okay.
But
that Marseille team had it all.
Oh, they were fabulous.
It was
yeah.
Jean-Pierre Papin,
Papin,
the
yeah.
top goal
Yeah.
scorer that season.
Yeah.
Got to the semi-finals of the European Cup
Yeah.
and won the league.
When did they win the European Cup? 2 years later.
Could
won
you tell me what else they won? My debut's not as bad now. I think it's like it's looking
They won the
better.
European Cup, that
They
squad.
won the league 4 times in a row without it being taken.
Yeah, they were
over.
amazing.
They're the last French side to win the European Cup, aren't they?
Mm.
It's like, yeah.
Chris Waddle thrived it and all. He was.
They got a statue of him out there, haven't they? I think there's a statue outside the Marseille Stadium.
What year did they? Is that 93?
I think they won. I think they won 92 or 93.
because they were in the final in 1991 as well against Red Star, and
One of them was the worst final ever.
it might have been that one.
1-0.
I think it might have been that one.
Nothing wrong with the 1-0.
No, not when you win.
No, exactly.
Oh no! Wait, did that go to penalties? Did it go to penalties?
Don't know. I don't think it was Red Star. It was somebody else that played it. I don't know. Can't remember.
I just found that that's like the full circle of life at play there because
Here we are, lads. Hey?
They won in
Stojkovic had
93,
learned,
innit?
he'd
It was
left
Bartek.
Red Star to go to Marseille, and then the next year Red Star won the European
Oh
Cup.
yeah, it's like Zlatan left Inter Milan, and then they win the treble with Mourinho.
Yeah, Scotland got a good opportunity to get the ball in the box here. Free kick just outside the 18. On the right-hand side of the pitch, Robertson's taking it.
I reckon he's shooting.
You think?
Why not?
I reckon he's shooting.
Have a shot.
It's got
Come
everyone
on.
in the box.
Everybody
Come on,
run
have
across it.
a
Who was that,
laugh.
Gilmore?
Yeah, that
Come
far
on.
post.
Get it in.
Robertson. Go on! Oh!
Off the
Is it the post?
Wow.
So close with
That's
Scotland.
cruel.
That's a
Oh,
great delivery,
man.
that. Great delivery.
That was fantastic delivery.
Oh,
Hanley,
Grant Hanley.
off the post. Let's have a look at this. He would have been onside. Oh, he's got a score, you know. He's got a score, you know.
From
He's
that
right in
distance.
front of the goal.
From that distance, yeah. Look at that.
Oh,
no, he's done well though. He's
done well. I'm
stretching.
going to say he's done well.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I don't think he should have definitely scored.
Fabian,
Yeah,
he's done Fabian Schär up, hasn't
yeah, he's done really well to get on that. He's had to stretch onto it, hasn't he? Unlucky though.
Switzerland haven't been comfortable, have they? It's been an even game.
he? Scotland have been good.
Yeah. Especially in the second half.
It's like Mick said earlier, that 5-1 can go one or two ways. It can really galvanise you into
Yeah.
getting through or start feeling sorry for yourself. Go on.
Oh, it's just the wrong ball, innit?
Just
Always
in
the
that.
wrong ball. Swiss players down,
Played,
and they've
lad.
won the ball back. It's not a foul.
No.
It's not a foul, man. Oh, so soft, isn't it?
That
All the
is shocking.
time. It's not a yellow, is it?
What about the game the other day that the striker slid into the goalkeeper? The ball's there to go and slide.
Oh, yeah.
See it? And they collide, and the goalkeeper knees him in the head. He booked the striker.
Yeah, yeah.
What's all that?
yeah. There've been some
What are they doing
outrageous
to the game,
balls
Nick?
already.
What
this
are they
season.
doing?
He's
Sorry.
got to go for it. The ball's there to go and try and score with it.
They're trying to kill the sport, Mick. They've been doing it for years. I think they are. They're trying to sterilise it.
This will be a huge point though if they can cling on. Maybe
I think they
even-
can get-
maybe
get
even
him-
nick a winner.
They could
Mm.
nick a winner, yeah, 100%.
Just play for set pieces and that. You never know. Counter attacks. Their goal was a well worked counter attack.
That's it. Oh, Swiss are in. No.
Played.
It's backs to the wall though. Everyone in the box.
What about those two playing it out wide though. The lads, the forwards in the box keep going like that and then come back again because they squeeze it. Then they go again to go and try, and they never put the ball in the box.
It's like Ruud van Nistelrooy back in the day. Ronaldo used to just go mental. Old, like
for
young
not getting it in the
Ronaldo
box
just
quick enough.
Step overs and that. He's like, just
Yeah.
just ends up shouting at it like all the time.
There's a good video of Van Nistelrooy saying about he managed Branthwaite at
Yeah.
PSV. and how much he liked him and stuff like that. That's interesting.
I'd like us. I'm pleased with the direction we're looking at players. I don't think he's worth 70 million, but I
You
don't
think he's worth
I don't
70
think
mil?
I don't
In
think
today's
he's worth-
market?
No. Especially when Everton need to sell and all those kind of things.
No, I'm not saying any player's worth 70
I think he's
mil.
worth about 45.
In today's market, he's worth
Quite
70.
literally just said, you don't think he's worth 70 mil?
No, but
Child, for crying out
I
loud.
don't think any footballer should
in
be.
this market, 40, 50.
I don't think a million for a player is. I think a million's crazy. But in today's market, he's worth 70.
No,
I'd
it's
say.
not, man.
You don't.
We'd sign him for 70 and you'd go, you've just signed him for 70 million.
I wouldn't. Honestly.
Are we talking about Brentford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's worth 70 mil?
Well, I'm a bit like you. 70 mil just knocks the. I think, wow, I don't know.
No, he's not.
He's been brilliant this season.
He's been fantastic.
But he's not 70
Is
million.
that where the market's gone?
I know.
70 mil.
It's not my fault. It's Chelsea's fault.
Sorry. Oh, is it?
And Man United as well spent a lot of money.
Is it? Right.
Seriously.
She's at zero responsibility.
Yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, but if you do an 11 of the most expensive players in Premier League history, an 11, or adjusted for inflation.
Does that include wages?
No, transfer fees only.
Oh, right,
adjusted for
okay.
inflation, there's not a single Man City player in there.
Yeah, that's what-
What
but-
did Tottenham pay for the Dutch? For the
That was 50. That was
the
about
Dutch
50.
centre-back,
Mickey van der
Van der
Ven.
Ven.
Yeah,
I think that's 50, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
because he's been magnificent.
brilliant.
Team. He can't get in the team.
He's
Went in the
incredible,
team. He
yeah.
was amazing. Wow, he was fabulous.
45, I'd say 55 million. I think it was. Wolfsburg?
40 million euro.
Wow,
43
Good.
million.
Good
Yeah,
value.
Yeah.
So he's probably worth about 40.
40 million euros. That's.
No, 40
Relax
million
a
was
bit.
the
The
initial
pounds
fee.
week these days as well.
It could rise to 43.
Unfortunately,
million
lads,
pounds.
when you're looking for one, and if you want him, and somebody says he's 70 million, you go, well, we'll give you 50. No, we want 70. Do you
How
have
bargain
to,
works.
Do you have to sell? No. Well, okay, well, I'll stay with you. Or you'd have to pay it.
Were you hands-on involved in like those kind of things with transfers?
Yes.
Or did a lot of?
Yeah.
Did you ever get a bid accepted over your head, where like the
No.
board's coming and going, we have to accept it?
Yeah, well, I tell a lie. Yeah, I mean, going back as far back as, excuse me, Millwall, when Mark Kennedy was coming through, Liverpool bid £1 million. I didn't want to sell him. I mean, Mark was lovely. I'm glad he went there. In fact, he used to babysit for my kids, Mark. I came back home.
That's why you didn't want to leave. Babysitter.
I'd been out for a pint, and I came back and told him that Liverpool. He didn't want to go. I said he was enjoying it. He was playing football for us, playing in the team, at Millwall. But Mr. Burr said no. We need the money,
Mr. Most expensive babysitter of all time.
Mr. Burr. I know he only became that when he left, so he wasn't worth anything when he was babysitting.
Yeah.
Is there a transfer that you signed in particular that really shone for you in terms of maybe a bargain or someone that really surprised you?
Oh, Michael Kitely, I signed from for 25 grand from Grays.
Wow.
We sold him for, I don't know, is it 6-7 million or maybe more? I can't remember.
God.
Yeah, so he was fabulous.
He's a winger, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's a
great.
winger, yeah.
So that we had some really good success with transfers.
That's good business.
God, pure profit.
Yeah.
God, that's amazing.
Did you kind of scout him out and go watch him a few times before you made that deal, or?
Funny enough, he was one of I got told about. I got told about by Frank Gray, actually, and I'm in Wolverhampton. So Taffy and Evans, I said about him, send him to watch him. Let's go and have a look at him. And it had to be done. He was coming out of contract. He was one of these where there's a clause in his contract, but I don't think everybody knew. So we went in and paid for him. And I always remember first day's training. I'd watched bits of him on the TV, and Taff watched him. Taff says all day long, 25 grand, no danger. And he came in first day of training. I remember Gary Breen saying, "Who the f is that?"
Really? Yeah.
Like just straight away impressed. He was brilliant, guys.
Yeah.
You see him, he got some injuries because he was a fabulous player.
Mm.
A lovely guy.
Was he with you in the Premier League, or was it?
Premier League,
Yeah,
we
got you into
got
Premier League,
promoted with him, yeah. He joined us in the Championship.
Yeah. I love those stories. They feel a little bit rarer these days. You're seeing Brazilians go to Real Madrid when they're 17.
Him and Matt Jarvis, we had
millions.
Kites on one side and Jarvo on the other. They were terrific.
Where did you sign Matt Jarvis from?
Gillingham.
Yeah.
And it's how you see him. He played against us when I was at Sunderland, and that year we won the league. I can't remember. Did he come on as a sub for them? He was amazing for Gillingham. It was fabulous against us. We drew 1-1 when we should have really beaten them. We're top of the league, and he was the main instigator of all the attacks. And so then I'd seen him, and he was marked down as one of the players. And then I went to Wolves. I signed him, $600,000. He was brilliant, great lad.
Old school winger. He's a right-footed winger, wasn't he? Playing on the right.
No, that's Kites.
Oh, it's the other side.
Javo's right.
Left on the left. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right,
went to West Ham, didn't he? Went West Ham United. Yeah. He played for England, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Got a captain at least.
Both of them did.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Old school. Get the winger on their right hand on their proper side.
4-4-2 wingers, isn't it?
4-4-2 wingers.
You don't have those kind of wingers anymore. They're all inside forward, part of a front three. Yeah. Don't really have to track back.
Too smart these days, man.
Yeah, well, we played 4-4-2 all the time.
Love a 4-4-2.
Do you think you can get away with that now, 4-4-2?
Well, Aston Villa do, don't they?
European Cup winners were kind of playing a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
So you have to slightly bastardise it at times, or your centre forwards dropping in, or you just leave the two up top. You'll probably get overrun in midfield most times. You've got to be very well drilled, very disciplined, keep compact, keep tight together, send them wide, or otherwise playing through the midfield they'll do you. I'd love to see it. I mean, I used to love wingers going past people, putting crosses in, and people scoring with their head. It was great. Nostalgia gone mad.
Yeah. Heady days.
Miss that these days. Yeah, miss that a little bit.
But why wouldn't you? They're getting to positions now to cross the ball. And of course, you lads were saying, there's nobody really going to try and hit. Somebody getting across the near post, somebody sliding at the far post, somebody challenging the keeper. I love that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way we played. I enjoyed the 4-4-2, and it's very much changed.
Yeah, Switzerland have got the ball now. It's still 1-1. I think it's a great result if they can keep it this way for Scotland.
Especially after the first game, you did fear the worst. You feared you don't want them to end up with 0 points or nothing like that. But they're keeping their hopes alive. And
what do you think about Ryanair? Do they cancel the flights?
Well, Ryanair, if you get Flexi Plus, you can get refundable. you can get flexible. You can get flexible deals, mate. So
you take a bag on board as well.
Honestly, yeah. Under the seat though, Mick.
Yeah,
small. If you want it in the overhead, it's got to be extra £25. Honestly, so bring your wallet with you, mate. But look, if they get a draw here, I think they'll beat Hungary. I really do. I think Hungary have been shocking this tournament. They really have been. I can't believe it. I thought they'd be so hard to play against. They beat England a couple of years ago, home and away. They beat England at Molineux. I don't know if you remember that. 4-0, wasn't it? Smashed Gareth Southgate. Southgate tried to match them with a 3 at the back as well, and we got absolutely smashed at Molineux. So yeah, but it's not to be for them at the tournament. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new to the club. We will very much appreciate it. Loads of content going out throughout the Euros. Oh, Switzerland have just had a shot from inside the box.
I'm sorry, but he's got to hit the target there.
Do you think he's got to hit the target?
Yeah, I think he's gone between trying to bend it in and smashing it, and he's really just got to try and. If he makes the keeper save it, if he bends it at the far post. Look, he's made it the 7. He might save it, tap it in his path. He's got to do better.
It's gone into Rosette, Mick. Yeah, it's gone into Rosette.
I know where that is. I put a few in there.
Yeah.
But he has. He's done great to get there. Hit the target. Do something.
I think Steve Clarke's a manager that doesn't get talked about enough. He did well at West Bromwich Albion.
He's done great.
He's a good manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
As it stands, we're going to have another conversation about Gunn as well.
Yeah, he's put off some good saves.
He's pulled up about 3 match saving saves. Yeah.
I'm glad I hung my hat on him before the game. Anyway.
Yeah, you did. To be fair, you committed to it. He's a very talented young keeper. Still, he's very highly regarded. No question about it.
I'm just happy for his dad. I know he'll be over the moon with every save he makes. Yeah. He's so invested.
He is a great guy. He is.
Yeah. Who's coming on for Scotland? Don't know who that is, to be honest. I thought it was Scott Brown for a second, but
Gilmore off, McLean on.
yeah,
Oh,
Billy.
It's Kenny McLean from Norwich, isn't it?
A lot of championship players. Scotland just don't
He's
have
a
the
good
quality
player,
they used to. Is he? Yeah.
Good player,
Yeah, Billy Gilmore taken off. Not really seen much of Billy Gilmore. You know, such a great ball playing centre midfielder. Not really been getting on it. I think a Scotland side are probably struggling to keep possession, aren't they, at points?
I mean, you'd expect that though, man. Switzerland they should be far, far ahead in terms of the possession. You saying this is a shock if it stays like this?
No, I think it's a fair result, and I think it's pretty expected. I'd be shocked.
No. As in a shock like pre-match.
No, would you be shocked if Scotland drew this with Switzerland?
I fully expected Switzerland. We were talking about how good they are at qualifying.
That is true, yeah. That is true. But I think a draw isn't that out of the world. A 1-1 draw is not too bad.
After what we saw against Germany, I've got to say I'm surprised at how well they've done.
They've definitely improved, no question about it, defensively.
Lives have been put on the line here. Blood has been shed.
Yeah, Billy Gilmore not done enough today, but it's hard against the Swiss.
What about England? We excited for tomorrow? Back again?
Oh,
I mean, England's been the worst game of the tournament so far.
Don't do that.
I mean,
Did you not enjoy
they
it?
might win. No, I didn't enjoy the England game.
When was the last time you did enjoy
It was
an
a good
England
result.
game?
When Jesse Lingard scored against
Oh.
Panama.
Nonsense talk.
I don't enjoy.
He's given us some of the greatest moments in English
My
football
heart
history.
isn't in international football like it is. So you're talking to ask Buvey.
Oh,
Go.
what about you, Boov?
what's that?
I mean, you didn't go.
Oh, go on, Scott! Go on, Scott!
Oh, Scott.
Go on! Oh no!
We didn't go nuts when Pickford made that save against Colombia.
Oh no, I was in the stadium. It was one of the best days of my life. No question. No question. When Eric Dyer
These are
put
the
that
days we
penalty,
live for. Come on.
yeah, it was better than anything I've experienced with Man City or any other club level, for real. That penalty
See,
knockout.
it just doesn't compare to
Yeah.
for me. Like
So you're
I'd rather England. I'd rather England win the World Cup than
and
City
your
do
club
anything.
over
To be honest.
country.
yeah.
Right. That's
Yeah.
so interesting, right?
It's
But that's
fascinating.
What
also
are you,
because
Mick?
I
What are you?
am
Sorry,
multicultural.
Club,
you know what I
club
mean?
over country or country over club?
What, in supporting team?
Yeah.
Or yeah, whatever.
Maybe it's more difficult for you to answer because you've been in the thing
When
as a kid.
when I was at club level, it was club, and that was at country level. It was country, of course.
What about as a fan?
What do you mean, as a fan?
Yeah, like as a boy, would you have been more excited
Yeah, Switzerland
about
are in here on goal.
Brian Bolo?
He's dinged him.
Oh,
Over.
he's done him.
Brilliant
Is he
Bolo scored.
It's over.
Offside.
He's off? He's off.
Let's see. I don't know if it was definitely offside, but
No, it
Brilliant
was
Bolo.
club watching.
Club. Okay.
Yeah, watching football all the time. Well, internationals only came.
Were you a Barnsley
By the
fan?
way, I was a kid a long time ago.
No. Who did you support as a kid?
Barnsley, because
Barnsley.
I lived in Barnsley, but Leeds were my team.
Okay.
Leeds.
Leeds United.
So Leeds win the Champions League or the Republic of Ireland win the World Cup. What would you rather have?
Oh, Republic of Ireland winning the World Cup, no doubt.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the chat, man? I'd be fascinated to know in the comments
Yeah,
what
put
people
a poll up in the chat.
what people would say. Would they
And
prefer
we'll have a
their
look.
club
But
to win
I'm
the
a bit
biggest title?
different like that. My mom's Irish, my dad's Indian. Like I don't just have one nationality.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like I love club football more, man. I don't really care for international football. Like I'm more passionate about.
But this is your home.
Like when Manchester United lose, I'm so gutted.
You're not going when England lose.
No,
Not really. Don't care.
if anything, might crack a little smile.
Happy. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I'm joking.
Enemy.
I'm joking. When Luke Shaw scored for England against Italy, I was buzzing.
But it's just United players get you excited.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being funny, but if Kane scores, do you withhold from celebrating, or who would I say? Like,
I think it's Lee from AFTV. I love Lee judges, but there's an Arsenal fan basically. When Harry Kane scored this huge goal in Euro 2021, I think it was against Germany, he just sat there like that, Mick. His full England kit like this.
See, I couldn't do that.
I thought, nah, mate.
I
he
wouldn't
was-
do that.
I understand he was officially a Tottenham player then. He's not. So now we can all let go, right? Just
know,
enjoy
but-
it. Enjoy it. We've
It
got
could be
a
the most,
great
who's the most Man
striker.
United player of all time? What, Bobby Charlton, George Best? It doesn't matter.
There's also a bit about it.
Well,
Like,
it's not
when
George Best, but Wayne Rooney.
when I did like watching England as a kid, I think that was because most of the good players in the team were Manchester United players.
Yeah.
And they let them down. They let England down a lot as well. Beckham let England down multiple times on a sporting level. On a sporting level, he did. He missed penalties and stuff like that. All sorts. He did. He definitely did.
Didn't let
he did. We missed a penalty against France 2004. He missed a penalty in the same tournament.
France
he wasn't good in
2004 because it pushed him on to winning the treble. 57% of the chat say club over country.
That's crazy.
There's been a lot of talk recently about just fixtures and congestion. And did you feel that creeping into the game? The longer you went on in your managerial career, like just the overload of fixtures that we're seeing, and do you have some sympathy for the managers that are complaining about that?
When I was, we didn't have that many cup games because we didn't get that far. And, if you're in the, I know it's sad, isn't it? But if you got promoted, like Leicester, Sheffield United, and Luton. You want to stay in the Premier League. You don't want to sacrifice the FA Cup because I've always loved it. I used to go down as a young player at Barnsley. I always got 2 tickets and I drove down to Wembley and watched the FA Cup final, and I loved it. But as a manager, would I sooner stay in the Premier League? And people go, win the FA Cup. I said, we're not going to win the FA Cup. We might get to the semi-final and play Man City, who've been playing their reserves, and then they play the first team and then they beat you. So it's not going to happen. I always wanted to do well in it, but if you're telling me over the preference, it was to either get promoted or stay in the Premier League.
Is that because the pressures you faced internally, though?
But I never felt we got too many fixtures. No, I never complained about that.
Because players just don't. They train less and they just play more. The playing is the training.
If we've got Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday in the Championship, you're just ticking over. The lads who don't play will train after the game. We'll be back in on Sunday. They'll have a game. We'll train with them. The lads are recovering, and then we're all preparing for the Tuesday. And likewise, probably Wednesday we'll have off, and then you're back in again. The lads who haven't played, they'll be training a bit harder, but the lads are just ticking over.
But the amount of injuries that modern players are getting.
We talk about modern football, but Newcastle and Spurs managers, I'm sure, complaining. Bro, they had a post-season friendly in Australia.
That's 2 days after. 3 days after.
How can you complain?
That's one of the most outrageous things I've seen in football recently. They finished the Prem. They're on a plane within 6 hours.
The cup final was still going on.
It's like 24-hour plane trip.
What? Like you are not allowed to complain about fixtures for
All
the
for a
next
bit
year.
of money. All for a bit of money.
Ask
obsessed with
them how
football,
much money they were getting. That's
Bit of money
But
grabbing.
the players' wages don't change. You know what I mean? The manager's wages don't change for that. It's for the club. But if they're going to say, all right, our preseason is going to be less, we're going to do less traveling in preseason. I kind of get it, but
I think it's a great shame, man. The stuff that you're saying about cup competitions, they've got to fix it. They've got to make the FA Cup a seriously big prize pool to entice not only people to not give up on it, but also that the history and the tradition. It's essential we keep hold of this, man. There's too much of the game changing.
Well, it was always the last game of the season. It was always the big game. I was growing up as a kid, and I loved it. But if you're going to stay in the Premier League, if you think you can't judge it, but if you're playing for certain clubs, you're not going to win the FA Cup, and there's something else more important. Which is
so Wigan won it and went down, didn't they?
Like for the fans of, let's say Wigan.
Wigan won it and went down.
Like, do they swap that for the survival, or do you like the fact that we had our day out? I can hold that in my heart forever. I took my son to the game.
They haven't been back since.
Win a cup.
They haven't been back.
It took Liverpool 30 years to win a title.
Yeah, it's true.
It's crazy.
Wigan.
Memories
That's
matter,
huge, man. Those days out are worth more than they need to change it. League Cup, I've heard they get about
you used to have the
50
Cup Winners'
grand
Cup,
prize
didn't you?
money. That's outrageous. No one's going to bother turning up. FA Cup, you should be.
You used to have the Cup Winners' Cup, didn't you? So all the Cup winners went in there.
That's the real Champions League for me. What a tournament that is.
Yeah, that's a great tournament.
Only
1991,
winners.
what a year.
Straight knockout. This is it's real tournament football.
Got some super chats for Mick. They're both about centre backs, funny enough. Booth says, Berra, best centre back you've had. He was great in the playoff year.
He was fabulous, yeah. He really was. I'd argue over the years, Gary Breen has been as solid as anybody for me because he played for me for Ireland, he played for Sunderland, he played for Wolves as well. But then, Berra came in on the back of him, and he was terrific.
And another one says, from Fraser says, Mick, can you talk about Mings, Tyrone Mings, another bargain buy?
Yeah, well,
Had
you
him at
guys were
Ipswich.
asking me about bargain buys, and he was one that was 10 grand from Chippenham, I believe.
That's nuts, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
You bought Tyrone Mings for 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's insane.
We did good business, mate. You look through our deals. Dave Bowman, my chief scout, myself, Taff, TC. We had good ones. I get a call about Tyrone Mings, and it was from Russ at Ipswich. Anyway, so we're walking out talking about it, and the game's going on out there, and I see Tyrone go up and head it. And then he tackles somebody. And this is just walking, and I walk around the ground. Thought I'll sign him now.
I've seen enough already.
Oh yeah, he was quick. He was big. He was powerful.
Right back, right? Isn't it?
No, left footer, left
foot
back. But he's about
Oh.
6'4", isn't he? He's a huge, big guy.
Yeah.
So we go around the other side now talking, and the game's going ahead. I'm thinking, I'm signing him, no doubt. I'm having him. And near the end of the game, about 20 minutes before the end, he goes to kick. He's tough as old boots is. He goes through with his left foot. He kicks, and this guy leaves him 6 studs. And he gets injured. So he got kicked, and he's limping around. So I said to the physio, take him off. So the coach, take him off. As he's coming off, he's like that to me. What the fuck are you taking me off for? I said, because you're going to get injured, you clown, And he said, yeah, but I want to stay on. I said, you've done enough. I want to sign you. Shut up. He was having a right whinge at me, he was.
Big chance for
Cleared
Scotland.
out the 6-yard box by Switzerland. Oh, no.
Yeah, and we ended up, we sold him for a lot of money to Villa. Yeah, it was probably not as much as he should have gone for, actually. He was...
Tyrone Mings.
Who did you think we were talking about? What planet are you on, bro?
Think about that right back who.
I'm sorry,
played
Mick.
for Burnley.
You had to sit next to
Tyrone
Do
Mings is
you feel
fantastic.
like a sense of pride then when he got his England call up? All that?
Oh, all day long, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was Russell Osman, I think, who alerted us to him. There was this guy, and there was we didn't even have to. I don't think we even have to pay, but it was something like 10 grand. So we no, we could have got him on a free. I think he was out of contract. I said, no, I was told 10 grand. We give him 10 grand. I mean, you got to honour that. And he was fabulous for us. Really, top guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we always had our noses to the ground, to the grindstone with players, with scouts, with everybody else, and watching games. And I also think that people knew we'd give them a chance. We'd take them and bring them and give them a chance. Kiefer Moore we took as well for 20 grand. And to be fair, didn't really hit the heights with Ipswich. He's gone back and got promoted with him. I'm delighted for him. He's really worked it and made himself a player. But we signed him for 20 grand from there.
Did you have him at Cardiff City when you were at Cardiff City?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good striker.
Oh, yeah, it is.
That's the thing that like we've spoke about so many different bargains that you've had here. We never really hear that about you. Like, you never get like that. That's not something you're well known for.
If
like,
you...
that's you need to stick, any club watching.
We had some...
I can turn 10 grand into millions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, we did at Ipswich. We had a great... I think we signed Waggy, I think. Martin Waghorn for about 400 grand, and he went for 2 or 3 million or something after he signed him from Rangers. We had a we've had a good history of signing players. And by the way, like everybody, we've got some wrong that you sign and it don't go right. But
We don't talk about those ones.
overall,
Yeah, it's a good
Even
record.
the great managers have got some wrong. You know what I mean?
Jumba
United have
Jumba.
had a few stinkers. You have had a few stinkers.
Jumba Jumba.
Yeah,
was
Jumba.
bad.
You had that one too quickly. Yeah. Bebe.
Bebe.
Mm.
Fergie bought him because Carlos Queiroz went, yo, this lad's...
yeah, my one was when you get promoted in the Championship, and if you haven't got enough money to buy like better than what you've got, you look at some and that you like, and you end up paying some money and more wages for one who's not that much better than what you've already got. So that's a real difficult one for lads who get promoted from the Championship.
Were there ever any time? I mean, you don't have to mention. Ever any times where you get promoted and you're like, this player has been amazing for me in the Championship, but he's simply not going to cut it in the Premier League, and you kind of have to go, thanks, but no, like. You must have to have some difficult conversations when you go from the Championship to the Premier League.
Well, Marcus Stewart was the one that scored 20 goals for us at Sunderland, but he was anchoring to leave anyway. And God bless him and all. He's got MND at the minute, Marcus, and he's fighting against that. So he was brilliant, but he wanted to move on, and I didn't have to say he wasn't one that I broke my neck to keep when I was at Sunderland, but he wanted to go back down to Bristol anyway. But he was fabulous. In hindsight now, when I look back, I think we all should have done more to keep him. Made him feel a bit more. We didn't, not that he didn't, but he wasn't wanted. He was scoring goals. We loved him. He was fabulous, and he got us promoted. But the fact that he wanted to leave, I look back now, I think I should have said, hold on a minute, you scored 20 goals in the Championship, we want you to stay, we want to keep you, and we perhaps should have. We never really explored it. He just left at the end of that season.
Must be a lot of egos though. So when someone tells you the game's finished 1-1, by the way, when someone tells you they're leaving, or they want to leave, you must just think, oh, go fuck yourself. Is there a bit of that with it?
I wasn't with him, but I think he was wanting to go down and play there, and I'm not sure he was. It never got explored that we were going to keep him. It just didn't happen. It was such a shame. And then we ended up signing players who actually weren't as good as him, to be fair.
Where did he end up going? Championship?
I think he went down to Bristol.
Okay.
Bristol City, I think. Yeah.
Big result for Scotland. If they beat who's the next game? Sorry, Hungary. They're through.
I think so. Yeah.
Which is basically incredible considering where they looked at the end of the game against Germany.
Tough draw.
Good result.
It's unreal result.
Fabulous result.
I thought Switzerland were massive favourites for this one. Yeah.
Mick?
Great result. Well, they were the favourites, quite clearly. Scotland lost 5-1 and didn't look like they laid a hand on Germany. They're much different today. And to be fair, they look like they should have won this game.
Yeah.
After the end. So, a really terrific performance and a great comeback from a terrible defeat.
Buvey, you never got to see the slapping you wanted?
Yeah, at one point they got that in Euro 2021 and they didn't get out of the group then either. So you never know. But I think they've got a great chance of beating Hungary. I really do.
Yeah, Hungary haven't been on form, but they might feel the same about Scotland. That might be their chance to get points. But yeah, big result for Scotland today. Can I say a huge thank you to Mick McCarthy for joining us today? It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great listening to your stories and stuff.
Well, pleasure, lads. I have to say, I'm amazed at your knowledge of football as well. I think it's great, and because football supporters and football, it did it for me when I did. I don't know if I keep talking.
Yeah, no, keep going.
So I did. I first did anything as a co-commentator. I did it in when Manchester United pulled out the cup competitions and did the Club World Cup in Brazil. And it was the first time I'd asked to do any co-commentary. And I was amazed at the detail that the commentators. So as a player, all you think is there's only us working. That's what you feel like. We're doing all the graft. It's all us. They all come and watch us. It's great, fantastic. What we don't realise is the level of detail that you guys go into and journalists go into and TV go into. Like John Motson with his detailed cards that he has. And I see them all with it now. They put a hell of a lot of work in, got a hell of a knowledge about the game. Might not be about coaching, but you guys have as well. Listen to you. It's impressive.
All without notes as well. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm bringing my notes next time.
Yeah,
I've got mine.
He's opened the door.
By the way, you've
opened the door, mate.
I'll tell you what I had. I had the notes. I had the two teams. So I had the last two teams that played because I thought I'll have to have a look at that. And I got your three names as well, Lawrence, you and Adam, because I'd have forgot them otherwise. You've made such an impression with all your knowledge, I had to write your names down.
You know, you'll have to sign it and we'll stick it on the wall somewhere at the back. Thank you to everyone for tuning in as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. We did speak with Mick prior to this, and we've got some stuff for you guys that's coming in the podcast as well, which you wouldn't have heard on this live stream. So make sure you're checking that out. Subscribe to the club. We're back tomorrow, 4:30, England against Denmark. Let's go.